Um,
Leica M6 giveaway stream. Oh. No. I'm still doing. I'm just rehearsing my voice. You know, gotta do those voice warm ups. There you go. 238. Okay, cool. Give me like one. Yeah. Right. Okay. Well, I do have the thing on my yeah. Okay. Uh, you mean okay.
and just make sure that we sound good.
Yeah.
You might have to take your headset off,
That's
but
true.
but it should be kind of immediate. It shouldn't be. It should be only a little bit of a delay.
Well, I mean, I'm hearing the lo-fi beats. Oh, there
Okay.
we go. I hear
Yeah,
myself.
yeah, yeah. I mean, as long as we sound, and the lo-fi beats will be turned down, but yeah, as long as we sound even and good, then we're good to go.
Yeah, I think we sound good.
Cool. I'll let some people flow in. I just posted it, so I'll give it like another 5 minutes, and then we'll get going.
All right. And you have the program written down on your end, right? So I think like the thing that you showed me, the notes that you showed.
I mean, I have it. Yeah, I have it like.
Yeah. So I was gonna say if you have it, I think I'll let you lead because I don't think I'm gonna have it pulled up.
Got you.
On mine. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, just start off with a. We already got well 5 viewers.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I'm telling a few people to let them know that it's because I think they clicked it at exactly 8 and they didn't see it.
Sure.
On so they're asking me. So I'm just replying to them. But I mean, we can start.
Okay. Yeah. So switch it over. Perfect. Yeah, we're here.
Hello.
Yeah, hello everybody.
it's so awkward for me because it's like I'm over here. I don't really know who's on, but
oh yeah, no, same. There's no way to know.
Yeah.
For the people that already have gathered into the room, welcome.
Oh, actually, I do see. I can see.
It should show you viewer count.
Yeah. No. I'm getting a whole list of people too.
Oh, you. I don't know if I can even see that.
How can you not see that? And I can. What the heck? Yeah, I can see. I think one. Oh, I think it's only if they choose to be seen or something because it says we have 11 viewers, but
okay,
I'm only seeing like 3 or 1.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay.
Are
we start?
I mean, yeah. Let's go ahead.
Should we wait a minute, 2?
We've been live for 4 minutes. Let's give it 1 more minute and just let anybody else that just popped in gather in. But if you've already hopped in here again, thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for.
we've been kind of excited about this.
Yeah, actually, I think we've been planning this for like close to 2 weeks or something.
Yeah,
we definitely had the idea 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
and then I think it took us a whole week to like put everything together. So this is it's pretty serious. Okay.
Yeah, I think I love taking stuff too seriously, and I think that's kind of what we did.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. All right, let's go ahead and I'm gonna go ahead and mute the beats. I guess. I mean, they're nice, but I don't know if they want to be played the whole time.
No.
All right. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the M6 live giveaway.
Welcome. There is no M6 though. I just want to.
There is absolutely no M6. Because I've never seen one in person.
Yeah. I have one, and I was gonna have it kind of next to me, but
dangling in the background.
Yeah, just dangling in the background, just tease everybody. But I think that might be a little distracting. I might grab it later if somebody has like a specific, because I know like there's like two comments on the beautiful noise post asking or just saying that, oh wow, I thought that would be an M6 that would have gotten me or something like that. And I'm like, well, I don't know.
Well, here's the deal. If this goes well, then then in future ones, who's to say there's not an M6 on the table? Especially for the golden few that gave us some questions.
Yeah, so you never know. And I did say that you gotta participate. You gotta tune in and see what goes down, because there is no M6, but who knows? That might be one in the future. If you're on here and you participated by asking a question, I know who you are.
Exactly.
I'll consider.
But yeah, let's go ahead and get right into it. Introductions. I just wanted to. I guess we should introduce ourselves. I know a lot of people probably know you, but I'm a.
No, I was gonna say I think a lot of people know you and not
a lot of name for myself. But yeah, in a way, I feel like the kind of like dynamic between this interview is going to be me and An having a conversation, like I guess like exchanging questions and just dialogue between us. And yeah, I feel like as far as chat goes, like it's gonna be kind of difficult for us to, I feel like, manage all like three triangular like conversations, but we will have like a specific time when obviously we want to interact with everyone if you're still hanging out or whatnot. But as far as that goes, we'll go ahead and start us off. Like, yeah, just go ahead and like tell us like who you are and like what you do.
Oh, do I go first?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, okay. Hi, I'm I'm Ann. Also goes by Analog on Instagram. Currently a graduate student. That's gonna be my official job title. My unofficial job title is I run a film lab called the DX Lab. And then my unofficial job title is I'm a Beautiful Noise Collective member, co-founder as well. And in between all of that, I also take pictures. So I guess I could call myself a photographer.
Yeah.
Loosely.
Yeah. At what point do you get to call yourself that?
Yeah. I struggle with this a while back. Like I would kind of joke that I would tell people that I'm a picture taker, trying to be cheeky and whatnot. And like I'm not a photographer, because to me that back then it's that label seemed really like committed and like serious, and like I thought like being a photographer means you gotta like have a book published and like do all this. But I really do just enjoy taking pictures. So does that qualify? But now I think I can call myself a photographer, because what else am I if that's all I do? That like that would bring me joy, and that I truly like and enjoy doing. So I think I kind of had like a reversal of that idea, and now I call myself a photographer when I tell people.
Yeah. Okay, I would also call myself a photographer.
Yeah.
I feel like there's not, who's to say you aren't?
Yeah.
Who's gonna come after you if you take photos and
I think for the most part I think us photographers, we're just, I think we're a little bit more aware than we really should be at just what we label ourselves, and then how we want people to view us. And there's always this like self-deprecating thing. But I think, I don't know, just sometimes you gotta let that go, because if you call yourself a photographer, in my opinion, you can take your work more seriously. Therefore, you can be more rigorous, in your work. But anyway, that's a slight tangent. What about you, though? Do we go back and forth? Or
yeah, I think so. I think that's going to be the best.
Yeah, okay, cool.
We've done this before.
Cool. Yeah, I know. We've talked. We've had conversations.
Yeah.
But yeah, so what about you?
Yeah, my name's Chase. I'm also, I feel like I've had the same like conflict with calling myself a photographer and feeling like that's kind of in a way corny. But what else are you, the other option is calling yourself a picture taker. But I would describe myself as either. Yeah, I feel like I don't know how to describe the type of photographer that I am though. You know, it's like once you get, I know it's like a funny thing to have to also like wrestle with, but that's as far as I can get. I'm a graduate student of undergrad, but I'm not a graduate student, so I graduated. I don't have any alternative titles. You know, so no one knows me by any other names. It's just here and now. So I'm not.
Um,
But do you,
so
yeah, do you think you could? I mean, do you describe your photography in a sort of way?
yeah, so that's an interesting point because
I'm just trying to give introspective of like,
yeah,
God
yeah,
forbid, when we get to the meat and potatoes of like,
yeah.
you know, some of the topics we're gonna get to, I want there to be like a some sort of understanding of where we come from and why we
Right.
have the opinions we do, rather than just. But
So um I think for the sake of simplicity and also just, having a more universal approach to things, I would call myself a street photographer, even though I think you know this. I don't like using that term. I'm also heavily influenced by this one quote by Gary Winogrand, and he said so in an interview. I I think if I don't know who's watching, but like some of y'all probably have seen this video where he's like, he hates the term street photography because it doesn't describe anything. And I think ever since watching that, I kind of, I was like, yeah, yeah, that's true. Cause I don't just do street photography. I take pictures of everything, like a lot of things. So, but yeah, loosely street photography, because if that's what people want to call me, then sure. But if you want to call me, documentary photography, I think I'll also take that. In
mm-hmm,
fact, I think that might be what I'm more into right
mm-hmm,
now, where I think when you say documentary, it's more direct. You are documenting things, so in a way that's what I'm doing, and that is the bulk of my work anyway. I don't do any commercial editorial. I just take pictures of, my surroundings, and then play around with the results,
right.
make zines, so
It's almost like photography broken down to its simplest form of simply
y-
taking pictures of what I want
yeah,
to.
yeah, and
Yeah.
that kind of comes back to the whole labeling oneself as a photographer, because it's always like, well, then what genre is it,
Mm-hmm.
it's like, well, I don't have a genre. It's just I just take pictures.
Is there any sort of like label you would hate to be described as
Street photographer.
for street photographer? Right? Yeah.
I think yeah, because it limits,
Mm-hmm.
it limits oneself to specific type of, and this we'll get into later, when we start talking about some of the people who are calling themselves street
Mm-hmm.
photographer right now, who are totally not. But see that there's that kind of problem where you have one where like I'm like saying that no, there is no such thing as street photography, but when talking about certain people, certain other people, there's also the same guy, same like me, saying that, oh, they're not doing street photography, right? So clearly there is a definition, right, for there to be like
Yeah.
this binary, oh, that's correct and that's incorrect. So but that's an interesting thing. We'll get into that
Yeah. I think street
probably.
photography is a funny. It's such a broad
Yeah.
title in
Hmm.
regards to like the art form or the person. But then
Hmm.
as soon as you get labeled as it, do get pigeonholed into like the smallest category of like
Yeah.
style of photo you're allowed to take and
Hmm.
consider yourself a street photographer. So
Hmm. Yeah.
it's kind of backwards.
Yeah, it is. And I think there's so much pressure in calling yourself that, and also calling other people that, is suddenly like you can't really break away from that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, excuse me, I think like couple of years ago, I started to break away from street photography, when I think I started posting like portraits or something like that, and then like,
Oh, they
and they
hate
were in
that.
color. Yeah,
Yeah,
they
you
were in
can't do
color too,
that.
and it's like I got some interesting comments, and these are the people who I don't associate with anymore, so I can't even, you know reference them, but or what they said to me. But it was very kind of like, it showed me like, oh, so that means I can't do this if
Mm-hmm.
I call myself. So, you know, so what's the conclusion of that? Well, I'm not going to call myself street photographer, because people, you know, it's just like I said, it's just limiting, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean,
Right.
it's a big step to get to being able to call yourself a photographer at all. So we should
Mm-hmm.
all. I'm cool with just being that.
Yeah. I think everybody should be too,
Mm-hmm.
because it's not that complicated. You know, it's not that deep, honestly. Like,
Exactly.
you can switch from, like a giant medium format to like a tiny point and shoot, and there shouldn't be like, oh, I can't do that because I'm so and so photographer.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it also limits you to like how you see the world. You know, if you call yourself, I'm a portrait photographer, well, then I don't know. You just how can you not? For me, it's like, how can you not take a picture of something that is interesting visually?
Mm-hmm. No matter
Just
what it is.
because you're now, yeah, just because you're like a portrait photographer, I shouldn't have any pictures of mountains in my portfolio. Well, then I feel like you're not a photographer, because how can you resist, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's always kind of my thing, is with taking pictures, is that sometimes you just can't resist. You just gotta take it, and
Yeah,
then you decide later what you want to do with it and how it defines you.
I think your overall sentiment is the sentiment we're going to be coming from too, which is one of it's not that serious. Like
Yeah.
like I think like a lot lately it's we've been dealing with a bunch of like influence in the photography, specifically the
Hmm.
like analog film world, that is
Yeah.
uh people taking it like to levels that I don't think it necessarily should
Right.
be at.
Right.
In ways, this is
Yeah.
but specifically I guess like which I mean we can go ahead and dive right into, which is YouTube
Yeah. Yeah. Of
photography. And
course.
like
Of course.
I just think there's been such a there's so many people with so much power, I guess, that are like backing film photography, which is a weird thing to like. You name like people like Gary Winogrand, and that's
Yeah.
not a household name,
Yeah.
but
Unfortunately.
now
Yeah.
people know what a Contax T2 is, which is
Hmm.
well, you should know who Gary Winogrand is first before you know this weird
Yeah.
like point and shoot. But
Yeah.
that's just because there have been so many like large, like I don't know, like superpower people
Hmm.
um fronting the like film vibe, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I even wrote down like all the examples of people that like I've noticed just organically, and I've been like, whoa, like cool, you guys are into film, And but with that being said, there have been like a response to these people. I know, like I think Kendall Jenner, which if you look up her
Hmm.
name, like and a Contax T2, the first article is one that kind of like dissects how her impact has led this. Like I think it happened in like 2018,
Yeah.
late 2017, 2018. Like film camera prices have just gone up in
Hmm.
general,
Hmm.
and then you see how people like Jason Momoa, who has like
Hmm.
this insane, beautiful Leica collection, and all these people like are
Yep.
perfectly obviously
Hmm.
allowed to own cameras,
Yeah.
but now they're. I feel like you wouldn't have seen them in interviews if they didn't
Yeah.
know that people cared now,
Yeah.
And there's been this, now it's and so even all the way back to like I think this is like the funniest one is like Lisa from Blackpink is putting out like a photo. She has a photo book when you buy a
Yeah.
Blackpink album, that you can get as like a package, and it's
Yeah.
pretty good, like just
Yeah.
because the photos have that look to them, and Lord just put out a photo book. I noticed that.
Hmm.
Frank Ocean is another
Hmm.
person that we can blame for film prices going up because he did the same
Yep.
thing that Kendall Jenner did, just
Yeah.
kind of flaunted it in front of an
Yeah.
audience, and
Yeah.
naturally with the camera that's sexy. I think there was also a
Hmm.
response to it. And then I did learn that Renata White Ryder also has put out a like very elegant photo book a while back. I think it's like completely sold out, of like a town that
Hmm.
maybe she's from. I forget, but it's called Renona. Winona.
Wait, hold
Um,
on. Is that? Can I look this up?
oh yeah, no,
That's
it's like
insane.
she's like
Wait,
a wonderful photographer.
what?
And she has like this like
Renata Ryder?
yeah. And there's
Oh my
just
god.
these people, that I've been seeing that have like um
Oh,
yeah, just kind of
okay.
like impacted, like I don't know.
Yeah.
People
Oh,
know these names before they know.
she's shooting with. Well, I mean, according to the website, her
Mm-hmm.
Squarespace, I guess, website. She has like a Leica M3, and
Yeah.
it's just kind of like hanging to like one corner of the picture. You don't see it clearly. And
Mm-hmm.
this is also the thing about like what I've noticed is well, not every single, I don't think it occurs every single time, but usually when a celebrity or somebody reference like a camera, it's kind of, it's sort of subtle. I know like um who is it, like, you know, the gender, the Jenner, Kendall Jenner, right? I think she brought it on like Jimmy Fallon or something. So that's not subtle at all. But sometimes you do get a glimpse of this, um, you know, sort of, I would, it's like I think for Winona Ryder, it's a little bit more appropriate because it is technically, I mean, she's old, right? So this is like her thing. It should be her thing. She should have been
She's
shooting. She's
yeah.
been, if anything, she's been shooting film, you know. So she grew up in that age. Whereas I think like other people, probably, I mean, including us too. You know, we this is for us still coming into it as a trend or a fad, you know, if anything. Um, but it's just a subtlety of like celebrity mentioning that they have a Contax T2 or like a
Mm-hmm.
Leica, you know, is for me is sort of a, I don't think I hate it. I think I kind of love it when I discover, you know, that like Brad Pitt like shot with an M6, or even if it's just a prop for a movie or just like a photo shoot, I think that it still validates something, um either the hobby itself or like the camera.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, like obviously, you know, like a M6, that's another, that's an entity on its own, if anything, you know, because it's associated with like all these people, all these celebrities, and now I think like the film culture now is all about bringing, like digging into like old tumblers for like screen caps of movies where this specific camera was used by this actor. And the thing is, it validates that camera so much that people often forget that this is like the camera in that screenshot or whatever is just a prop. You know, it's used by this person in a movie. It's not actually,
Right.
it's used by an actor acting. So it's a prop. It doesn't have any real, you know, like direct contact to what is going on in photography, but yet it's so influential.
Yeah. So when people or when you're having a conversation and you're referring to your M6, do you say "Let me grab my camera" or do you grab your M6?
I say camera
Camera,
most of the
right?
time.
But
Yeah, I
but
say,
I've done a lot of research in the last week.
yeah.
I think based on YouTube photographers, they are referencing it as not a camera. They're referencing
Yes.
it as an M6 because one, they want to say that. B, people know
Yeah.
what they're talking about.
Yeah.
And you know, like that's all you need to reference something, you know. But
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
thing is, people know what a Leica M6 is.
Mm-hmm.
Leica M6 is now just because it has become a regular
Mm-hmm.
camera.
Yeah. It
Maybe
is.
not to own, but as far
Yeah.
as like, oh, everybody knows what it is at
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
point.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's revolving in the same circle that would know.
Mm-hmm. And I
Um,
think, and then that's a really good point. You know, I just want to add this because it's like, um, I'm almost kind of afraid sometimes. I mean, I feel like I'm really self-aware to the point where I know that this could be a joke. This could be like a parody. You know, maybe like what I'm doing is really just, I'm just parodying, you know, the whole like M6 meme thing. But
mm,
you know, I have avoided, you know, in the past, um, mentioning that I have a Leica M6. When I talk to people, obviously, you know, I go on social media and I flaunt my camera around. Like I do that, and I'm aware and I know why I'm doing it.
yeah, we're
But
dunking on YouTube. We have to
yeah,
remember we're dunking on YouTubers, and then
yeah,
here we are live streaming like
yeah, yeah.
a literal conversation
So it's
about.
a very, you
It's
know,
tongue in
self.
cheek. Just know
It's
where we're
tongue in
coming
cheek.
from, yeah. And
Yeah,
so you can have it. You
yeah,
can
I know.
have an M6 and
Yeah,
and
I just,
and like it.
yeah, as a sort of yeah, it is tongue in cheek, and as a kind of warning to like the viewers right now, currently, whoever you are, it's, I love my M6, by the way. I don't try
Right.
to hate it. It's a beautiful camera. It gets the job done. Like it's just what it is, right? But like there's just so much weight attached to it.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I'm afraid to like tell people. Um, I've thought about like, you know, and this is also kind of a parody meme thing where people will get black tape and they tape over like the red dot. Like, come on, dude, why would you do? You know why you're doing that? It draws even more attention, you know, because like you only do that to a Leica. Therefore, when you do it to any camera, it makes it a Leica automatically. And plus,
Mm-hmm.
the shape, the lens,
Mm-hmm.
everything is so recognizable. So like, why would you even go through that? But it's just, it gives people this sense of like, ooh.
that reaffirms it as a Leica. If you see it, it's exactly what you're saying is that's a Leica because they taped over it. They wouldn't tape over it if it were anything else.
No, exactly.
I do think it's funny though because I mean, and we won't talk about gear forever. Or maybe we will. We just. But that's the main reason I didn't buy an M6 though, was for the same, like, I could have, when I was looking for a camera, there's no reason, but I just tried to find something else, almost as like I didn't want to, I don't know, maybe I just wanted to be different. But that, the camera I own is the Zeiss Icon, which is like it's the same camera, takes the same lenses. And that's got to be, what really separates them. But I mean, I got scared of owning one. So, and just because I knew going into it how the last 3-4 years have looked like, and I was like, I don't know if I trust the price for this camera because I know it's being so heavily impacted by the current market for people looking for nice film cameras. But no one talks about this camera, which makes me think that I'm getting more like bang for my buck, if you will. So,
and I think it's still significantly cheaper, right? The body for
I think an M6 goes for around average like 3,000.
Yeah.
And at the time that I was looking at M6s, they were still sub 2K.
Yeah.
So in the last 2 years, we've seen $1,000 increase, for you got it. And I don't know, like, and it could go, you can apply that to any film camera as far as go all the way down to point and shoot, specifically point and shoots. But that's that has become such a I guess our YouTube, like, celebrities at this point, like photographers, have really like taken the reins over like them specifically are changing the prices of they're releasing videos talking about specific cameras, starting with point and shoots, just because they're so accessible, they're everywhere, they were so mass produced, and they at one point were cheap. Makes them so susceptible to just like demand. And with any film camera, obviously everything is a dead like stock, so you're going to be finding what's left, and so that
So I mean,
they're not making any film cameras. I don't know of anything that's still being
not
produced.
anything as good, So when you have a limited, and this is limited and also finite amount of like finite supplies of something. I mean, anybody can, and also it's a secondhand market too. Like, you got to consider the fact that like
some of them are not up to like par cameras with being one you would buy at a store, and so
exactly. And these are just dudes who are just like they're throwing whatever they have or whatever they found on eBay without any consideration. Sometimes I've experienced, 'cause I buy from eBay a lot, and sometimes I've met sellers who don't know anything, and they know it's
that's like, surprising, isn't it though? You're like, really, you're out here selling a camera for this, and you
but it's the price set, it's already been set. So for them, like, why would they
eBay autofills it? Once you type in the name for whatever it is, it gives you the average price of what it was sold for, and so that's helpful, except for the fact that you no longer can hit those I think real finds, those like garage sale. Even I mean, you can't even go to this. I mean, I'm going to give you guys a trade secret. I used to get film for free by just going into Goodwill, not wanting the point and shoots. I don't need the point and shoots, but so often there would just be a roll of film in there. And those were just fun to have. And I would just take the film out. And just like, because a lot of times it would be fun to shoot over them. It was kind of like just like an experimental thing. But they were in such abundance. And I was like, I don't need another, Olympus XA in 2013. It's just these are $20 cameras. Same with AE1s and whatnot. These cameras were, there was a point whenever they recommended, and I say they as in the general photo community, saying like, if your AE1 breaks, just buy another. They're $20 with a lens. You can get them fixed. They obviously can be fixed, but it's just going to be $30 to get them fixed. So just buy a new one. I mean, and those have like fallen prey to like people. I guess I don't know. I mean, I don't know who they are. I don't know. Like, I don't want to demonize them, but people getting into film photography, something that used to be extremely accessible is becoming in some ways like I guess like we'll open this up. I guess we're starting to get into like why we're talking about who's influencing and like why
Yeah,
prices are going.
who caused all of this?
Yeah.
Who did all this?
Yeah. Do you guys like in chat familiar with like YouTube photography, or is this something that everyone's keen on, or is this just something that has like obviously jaded me to the point where like I have to talk about it because it's just so in my face. I want to like kind of like send a feeler out, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Let's wait maybe like I don't know 30 seconds or something.
Yeah. Just
I do want to hear the responses too because
right.
that's kind of the whole point of and also hopefully there's some like beautiful noise followers in the viewers. I can't tell because everybody got a different name and like I don't know who's there. But
if you're able to send a chat, just let us know like is this something that you're aware of as well? Is this something like I mean, we are going to actually end up watching a prime example of a YouTube photographer, Joe GREER. Shout out Joe GREER. Yeah, very yeah. Stoked for a section just to give everyone kind of like perspective and get you some sort of something like to grasp onto of what we're talking about and kind of like I guess the current state of like photo influencer mashup actually like dictating the film industry and the reason that film stocks are going out and being like non-made anymore, and why a Contax T2 went from being a $400 camera to upwards of $1,300. I don't know.
Oh, we got one response.
Yeah, you take it if you want. I would say also like read it out.
Yeah. Okay, so from and this I'm gonna assume this is coming from my sphere because this is a Vietnamese name, but from I think your name is Yu Kang. Okay, so that's so from Yu Kang. I have to filter out YouTube photographer because some people are actually good and some are really bad.
Yeah, so that's my favorite thing about the YouTube photography is because it has people are getting into YouTube photography and getting into film photography with 50% of it being to make a YouTube channel, which like means like nothing to me. It's like that's whatever it is. I don't. That's you. That's cool. But with that being said, versus like I think you see a lot more in a YouTube video than you do from an Instagram post. Someone that maybe not be like a great photographer, if they make an Instagram post, it's hard to really see if they're a good photographer. Maybe they had a bad photo versus an entire YouTube video where they show you their process. They start talking about it. They're taking the photo. They're posting it right after, which like, I think that's the craziest thing about YouTube photography as like I'll even call it its own style of photography is that you kind of don't get a pass anymore. Like you're sitting down, you're taking these photos, you're editing them into something, and everyone gets to see the like intricate detail, like the private, like photography is a private thing, and suddenly you're eliminating that. You're opening that up to like everyone, and so it's much easier to tell like if someone is a good photographer or a bad photographer because I don't know, you can see how they do it. And that's not an elegant way of talking about or like explaining that, but I agree with that.
For sure because when you say that photography is a private thing, it kind of it made me think of like two things. It's like for me, I like that it's private, and I like that sometimes I don't have to know how somebody works, how somebody takes a picture. But then there are times where I actually do want to know how because they do it so well, like they or they bewilder me to the point where I'm like, I gotta know, I gotta watch this person. And so that is I would say a merit of YouTube photography, and like just watching videos about somebody walking you through their process. But I will say that there is, I would say like the bad ones or like the mediocre ones when they do it. Obviously, one, I'm not interested. I don't care. Somebody like Matt Day, who is very big. Some of you might know him. He's known
so he's also like an OG too. He's had his YouTube channel about photography.
Yeah, and like and for being on the platform so long. I mean, I used to watch him. I think I'm still subscribed to him, Actually, I'm subscribed to everybody because I do watch a lot of YouTube photography, just mainly for entertainment.
Right. Which
But
is what it
you know,
is at the end of the day.
yeah, yeah, and being in entertainment, you know, like for me, like Mad Day wasn't really that big of a deal. I just like the fact that, you know, I think he was actually the one that showed me how to like understand, you know, flash sync
mhm.
speed versus, you know, aperture when you're shooting with flash. Yeah, so shout out to Matt Day for actually teaching me how to do that. But I think recently his content, and he's gotten really big. You know, he's gotten like, I think Leica sends him cameras to test and everything. You know, so all these people like Matt, Joe, they're all on the top, you know, of this like culture that we have right now. So they're sitting on top, they're dictating like the rest of us like what to do.
Mhm.
um you know, when you get into that, then it becomes a little, you know, from like, I would use the term fake,
Mhm.
because like, what are you really walking us through? It's just, I don't know, it's just taking a
Because it's
picture.
been a
And
week since you posted a video, and
yeah.
we like watching your videos, so you have to make
Hmm.
another one. You know, we
Exactly.
have them chained, and like,
Yeah.
so yeah. So Holomoto said, uh, I don't really watch YouTube photographers. I feel like they just take pics for their YouTube channel, which is,
I mean,
I don't
yeah,
even
right
think they
there.
would deny that. You know,
Hmm.
like they know that, and
Hmm.
they'll even, not all the time, but they will address it and be like, didn't have anything great, just had to make a YouTube video. And
Hmm.
that self awareness is obviously extremely important. And like, that doesn't make them annoying, bad photographers, fake photographers, but that you have to go into it knowing that too, that I'm watching it for entertainment. You made it for entertainment, the merit. Um, so a lot of
So
professional documentaries of photographers. Yeah, I mean that's where I would say, don't, if you're
that's the
going
free
into it,
content.
yeah, if you're
Yeah.
going for learning something, I mean, that would inspire me more than a
Hmm.
Willem Verbeek, video, or a Joe Greer video,
Yeah.
or a Matt Day video, because I don't know, I can trust these people,
Hmm.
they're,
Yeah.
because they're who they are, if they're a professional photographer, that, which I don't think anyone that we in the modern YouTube realm can call themselves that.
Yeah.
They're all too young. I think a lot of them. I'm not joking. I think Willem Verbeek, he might have the most followers or subscribers on YouTube. I think he might be the one. I don't know if he was the first one, but I believe he has said that he got into photography to start the YouTube channel, which has been around for
Hmm.
like 3 years,
Yeah.
three,
Yeah.
4 years. I don't know. Like, and so I think that's, to me, that's a new photographer, and
Yeah.
his
Yeah.
work is obviously like it speaks for itself. It's not necessarily what I think either of us are necessarily into, but I mean, he takes wonderful photos and makes really good content. But
Hmm.
it's hard to call him a professional. I don't think you can
Yeah.
be a
And
professional in 4 years with anything.
and and I think, you know, I would personally, I wouldn't um you know, use the term professional. I think, you know, because I'm not a professional
Mm-mm.
by any means, right? And like, and in both sort of, I think that term professional has two definitions. One is it's your profession, so it's your
Mm-hmm.
job. The other one is like you're good at it, right? So I don't think I'm neither of those things. So
You might be able to
I
classify them as professional YouTube photographers, because
yeah,
a lot of them are
there we go.
paying
That
the
is
bills from their YouTube channel, which
exactly,
is
that
that's
is
great, and I am
yeah.
envious. And there's like,
Hmm.
I truly like feel no other way other than, wow, that's cool.
Yeah, I
About
wish
that
that
aspect of it,
happened to
right?
me. I
Right.
wish that happened.
Damn, I should have started
Yeah,
a YouTube
yeah.
channel.
I am now we got two guys just being bitter about things because we weren't chosen
Mm.
to
But
be
we are suffering, and we're not the only
yeah.
two photographers that take, it to. And I know we preface it by saying we are don't like, it's not that serious. We don't take it that serious,
Hmm.
but
And it's really not that serious,
it isn't.
but
But
it's
when it comes
yeah.
to needing a film,
Yeah.
and my favorite one gets discontinued because the market is like hitting this, like, it's
Yeah.
just cluster fucked
Yeah.
with like,
Yeah.
demand and supply and people and YouTube
Hmm.
videos. Like, I do get punished from it, and it's
So
not anyone's fault, but
there's
it
this
is.
phenomenon, and because you mentioned like the market, and I just want to, you know, I'm not sure if everybody is aware of this, but like there's a reason why um our favorite film or films. So yours is Superior. Mine is also Superior 400, by the way, and
Yeah, same.
and a couple other and I like Kodak Gold. I like Kodak Color Plus. If you pay attention, one, their prices have increased, and also they're getting a little bit harder to find. So it's kind of scary, and I don't know if that means anything for us. But right now, I just I'm just gonna think that it's probably has something to do with supplies. Maybe too many people are buying that film, that and retailers don't have enough to catch up, and that's why they have to increase the price to curb the demand or whatever. um or it's being killed off. Obviously, I don't want the latter possibility, but it's also very possible there's a reason why like Superior got killed off, um
I don't know why
and
they chose that one either. I feel like I
I
mean, I don't
think
know how many stocks that Fujifilm carries truly,
yeah,
but it very much surprised me that they took
I think they
Superior.
took that
Like,
one that one off is just because it's a relatively cheap film. It's probably not profitable for Fuji to keep producing that.
well, people
And
dunk on it. I mean,
yeah,
I don't, and
yeah.
this is again where this is when a YouTube photographer goes too far, is when they are shooting portrait and then they just dunk on Superior, and I'm
Yeah,
just like, first of all, these are not comparable
yeah,
films. They're
yeah,
not supposed to. Of course, you
yeah,
don't like it. Don't fucking
yeah,
shit on it.
yeah.
Some of us do, you know.
Superior is actually really good.
It is
I
really
don't want to.
good.
I don't want to turn this into like a Fujifilm fan club thing, but it's really good.
Yeah,
Like
the two people
Superior
who are
is.
hosting this are fan club, like
Yeah,
top members. So,
I'm amazed at the amount of abuse that I can do to that
mm-hmm.
film, and it still looks good.
Mm-hmm.
You know. Um, but anyway, so there, besides obviously Portra being like the main enemy, there's also another one, and it's just for y'all viewers to be aware of. Like, don't shoot expired film. Don't buy expired film from some eBay. I mean, you can do it if you're on a tight budget and like you're just trying to take pictures. Good, but don't do it because somebody on YouTube told you to do it. Because I know there is that kind of challenge or video thing where a lot of people, shooting this on expired film, putting expired film through like an M6. I know like negative feedback
Let
did this
them do
whole
that for you.
yeah yeah did that video on shooting expired film, and it looks gorgeous, right? In their video. The thing is, there's obviously different levels of expiration. There's also expired, but like it's been stored properly, so it's pretty much the same thing,
Mm-hmm.
as new film. But when you watch, just a disclaimer, it's not it's not like that in real life. You go and you buy expired film, you never know what the condition is. The pictures will look like shit. You will
Yeah,
not be
it's
happy.
pretty much
And
guaranteed. It shouldn't stop
yeah,
you. Like, again, I think like we should say that. I mean, you can shoot expired film
yeah,
whenever, but I didn't like it. Probably won't look good. Is all
yeah.
that it will. But
So
it's
so
do everything. Sometimes you don't even get your
yeah.
film back. Sometimes like
hmm so
it never caught.
my right. So I mean, of course, yeah. No, do it if you're on a
Film is
budget,
risky
but like,
in
but
general.
like, yeah. But I was gonna say that that Cokecan is here, by the way.
Not a
Guest
guest
appearance.
appearance.
Guest appearance. I'm gonna figure out how to like put this thing off of my headset on the speaker so that way he can speak as well and still sound good. But he might chime in every now and then.
For sure.
Anyway, he's just gonna do some work in the back. Um, so yeah, so I was saying that the whole thing with expired film is when you buy expired film, what you are not doing is buying new film, which is in other words, you're not supporting the industry, right? So there's obviously a lot of hype around Portra, and so a lot of people buy Portra, and then there's a lot of hype around like expired film. I don't know. I don't think they're comparable, but you can
Mm-hmm.
clearly see it being a contributing factor to why Superior got killed off. It's just because no one was buying Superior. Like the people on a tight budget couldn't afford Portra, could have afford, like they really could afford Superior, but chose not to because somebody dunked on it on
Because
YouTube.
one YouTube
Yeah,
video, and I mean
and then they go and then they buy, you know, expired film, and it looks like crap. It's I don't know, it's sad. It's just, you know, like it's and the thing is, most of the time expired film is not that cheap anyway. I mean, you get a whole bunch of it, but like really what are you getting back? You're getting like maybe one roll with pictures on it, and like the rest of everything else
that's also the craziest thing about expired film is you run the risk of not getting not just like a blown out shadows or anything like a nice tone across the whole roll, but sometimes expired film is just dead. Suck the life. Like it literally every day that it's expired is getting a little bit of life across from the ones, the spared ones that were stored in properly, you know, that obviously are probably fine, but okay. Let's I mean, you're exactly right. I mean, that's also of course something to think about. I mean, one, people have been dunking on Superior for as long as I can remember. Which maybe not rooting for the underdog is just why I also have this like affinity for it, but you're right, just people aren't buying it like they are Portra because some people have made it seem like that is the only film you can buy, and eventually Portra will be the only film left if it keeps going like this, and it will keep going up in price. And right, so let's go ahead and introduce our I guess Joe GREER as our captain YouTube photographer of why I think, because I think this conversation is kind of rooted in frustration.
It is
not as much as like we want to like belittle or come at it from any sort of angle, but as I guess like critical and like I don't know how to describe our point of view, but we want the film industry to grow and photographers to get better. And we want to like make sure there's so many paths you can take, and like you know, everyone is going to find their own, but I think there are so many like false prophets. And I think that is a great way to describe Joe GREER as being, I think
it's fair to say that we're being critical.
Right. No, absolutely. I mean, by no means am I like coming at this of like, I'm coming at this from an angle of like, this is why you shouldn't listen to specifically this video. But, you know, some people like this you don't need to just because the photos look pretty. But basically like, there's a surge of, even today, I'm not joking, Matt Day, you know, the loyal OG has been brought into the Moment, which is a photo company started by like travel photographers in like 2012 when Instagram was booming. Which is cool that they started their own photo company, but they have these things like these workshops where they just ask only YouTube photographers to host them and teach a workshop, which I can't remember who said this, but just, it's not really even a quote as much as all photographers aren't good teachers and all teachers aren't good photographers. Like you can teach photography and not be good, and you can be a really good photographer and not be able to teach it, you know? It's just like anything. So this is an example of a very fine photographer, but he is a terrible teacher, and I think he can lead anyone astray. Like, I'm not joking. I don't even feel wrong. No one's going to challenge me on this. He's a bad teacher. The reviews on his workshop speak for themselves, but we're going to bring this up on screen. I kind of like, I'm just going to go like, we're just going to like visit the first, like, there's like a 10-minute section where he starts to talk and like describe his working as like his teacher as he's shooting, just like this is the same format that every single like YouTube photographer is following. So just in case you're not tuned in, you're not like this is a new concept for you, you've never watched YouTube photography, this should really summarize the essence of like the problem, the source of the problem that we're kind of struggling with this guy, like, fronting this. So, all right. Sorry, I know you can't see, but you're gonna tune in on the stream. You're good. We've seen this. We already laughed about it.
So I know. I got it memorized.
Pretty much.
Okay. Shot this mountain.
All right, here we go.
3 different ways, 3 different perspectives, 3 different subjects. But this place is really special.
Will the audio be played
through? How we can photograph it.
It's coming through the stream. It may not be coming through yours.
Oh, of course.
There's
so people on stream can.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
So if you turn into the stream as well. First of all, let's talk about, he has a Mamiya 7 and 2 M6s.
Than just photographing
for a landscape shoot.
And this is why I love this spot.
No tripod.
No tripod. It's like
a lot of potential.
You have
compositions, as you'll see.
These things who are like, well, first of all, I don't know.
Few minutes.
Both cameras are very
beautiful angles.
You know, the way I see them are like
of homes is beautiful.
You know, the Mamiya 7 and the
with
M6.
The colors in the background.
You know, they're very kind of mobile, compact cameras. They're not still. Like, they're not supposed to be like super stable. Because again, you don't have a tripod. This is like early morning, right? Dawn.
So that's one thing I always look for. When shooting
and this guy's carrying like 2 M6 for what? Right. And I think he'll actually explain, or he does explain in the video at some point why he has 2.
Right. Which for this workshop, it doesn't matter. You know, you shouldn't have 3 cameras if you're teaching a lesson.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be included. But I'm gonna pause it again. I hope you have it pulled up, but actually I think I can share it with you, but I'm not gonna worry about it at the moment. I like to pause it on these photos and just kind of like, because my thing about why I bring this video up is because I think these photos are fucking bad, like plain and simple. And so I think that's hilarious because this is a workshop that you have to pay for.
Yeah.
And it's not cheap. It's not like $20-$30. This is like $100+ workshop that teaches you how to take photos, you know?
Right.
And I don't know, it just seems so. Just starting off with this one, he's describing the angles, lines, leading lines, rule of thirds, layering, like your photography 101 class, and he fails at it as he's explaining it, which I think is really ironic. But anyway, I'm just gonna keep it rolling. I think this is the first photo that shows up in this video. It's a bad photo. It looks great, colors fine, beautiful. You know, obviously scenery is great, but
it really brings the viewer through the photograph, and if you can use that to your advantage, I think it's a really
is the video still paused, by the way?
To get somebody to
I don't know if there's a
there will be a little bit delay actually.
Oh, there's a delay. Okay.
There's gonna be a delay. I'm actually just gonna pause it for a quick second. I am gonna bring you into it and see if I can't just share my screen with you. Sorry, chat. This is not a streamline. Share screen with you. This is just so you can tune in. All right, can you see this?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Now we can watch it together.
Are those leading lines? And I'll try to show some more examples here, but I think this fence is one of them. It essentially leads you straight to the mountain range in the background, which I think is just a really powerful tool that all of us can use. You just got to be looking for it. I love this pink here. And there's another one down the way that no one really goes to, which I think we should.
So okay, can you pause? I don't know. Because I just want to say real quick. Can you go like on the video? Can you scroll back maybe like 3 seconds?
Oh, I went.
Whenever he's talking about
all this can use.
Yeah, well, just whenever when he's talking about the house. I think this is a good point because I think I just want to say that like this is just coming from me and just my experience. The thing about
look at us, here we are.
Yeah, I know. I think that okay, when you I don't know, you don't. These are not the. I don't think these are the things that you say to anybody when you're taking pictures, even to yourself. Because here's the thing about like, and you'll see more of it later when we resume the video. But there's a lot of bullshit that's not real, and it's being verbalized by these so-called teachers, and like this little snippet right here, he's explaining the shot, right? He's explaining like, oh, I like the pink in the house, like the fence, and it's like, no, I mean, when anybody can explain their shot and it will sound cool and it will sound like, oh wow, I can really
of course
this.
Of course this makes sense because I wasn't there.
Because like, well, what, oh wow, okay, but like the thing is, as a student, if you say you pay for this workshop, what are you really taking from, right? Because this is not your scene, and especially to like people who don't live in this area, which is, I don't even know what this is. Where is this? Grand Tetons? Where is that in the US?
Beats me.
So okay,
no one see exactly. We're photographers. We already called ourselves that. We don't even know where this place is at. So this is not applicable to us in any facet.
So like here's what I'm trying to say. Just to be like, because I'm articulating it as I'm saying it.
Mhm.
It's not. This is not. You can't do this. You pay $100 or 79. I think
Mhm.
there's a discount or something, but you pay like $80 to watch this video. And also, this is you can also just watch anything else on YouTube. By the way,
Right.
it can be as beneficial, if not more, probably more. But here's the thing: you can't apply this anywhere.
Mhm.
If you live in Vietnam, you're beat. You can't do this. There's no barn. You don't get this scenery. I live in like Texas. We don't get this sort of scene. So, what am I really getting from?
Mhm.
Or from this? What am I really bringing away with? Because he's explaining the shot, and it's what he's looking at, and you can also see that too. So, if anybody in the that's viewing right now who can like comment what they could learn or potentially learn from this, let me know because I'm very curious. What can you learn from watching YouTube content besides maybe how to load a camera or like, very basic things? But
Right.
how can a guy teach you how to look?
Right. Right. And he
Okay.
even, he kind of says that, but yeah,
Mm,
I'm gonna let it roll. I mean,
okay.
I'm gonna might pause on some photos just so we can take a little more time to look at them because they
Yeah.
are almost comical.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we can a lot of the problem with this, he says the same stuff over and over again, and so you won't have to remember a
Yeah.
certain. So when we get to the end of it, or
Okay.
the next 5 minutes, like it will be the same problem you had in the first
Okay.
5 minutes.
I love
So
this pink here, and there's another barn
But-
down the way that no one really goes to, which I think we should send it. But I also love this cabin just empty right over here. So let's head that way.
yeah, like there's people living out here.
Oh, that's just so good right there. That's so good. Cold hands.
Wow.
Fine,
Beautiful.
like fine photo, I guess.
It also depends on like,
Oh,
well,
look at that.
I mean,
Look
I
at
don't
these
know.
colors.
I won't say like it's
Wow.
I mean, whatever scanner he used is a good scanner. I'll say
Right.
that.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
photos have never looked like this. I've never had a scanner that whatever he's sending them to.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think this one might be the only photo that like I'm like, fine, you can
It's
have that one.
you
can
know, I
have
can
that
see
one.
it. I can
Yeah.
see it being hung in a hotel
Right.
hallway.
Oh.
He just
lobby.
backs up.
Look at this.
Look at him.
Yeah.
Puts his hands up for the
Two
mountains. Like
different
you're here for
angles
what
coming in.
else?
Yeah.
From
What
the
else?
fence
And it's
here,
also it's like a
from the building.
mile or two away. Like it's not. You're not doing. There's nothing that's moving. There's nothing that's like.
Yeah. This section right here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna back it up because I like how he walks into this and he gets excited, almost like orgasmic about what he just discovered, and then the reveal of the picture he takes,
Yeah.
like makes me like do a spit take, but not to ruin it, but yeah, just like this part right here is the real the gold of this video.
Oh.
Whoa.
Look at this. Got a few different angles coming in from the fence here, from the building this way, leading through. Oh. That's so good.
I also like how he's leaning. Like,
Right.
Yeah. Anyway.
So this photo is bullshit.
Yeah, it's
he gasses it up. He brings in like you got the fence, you got the barn, you got the, and then he'll even again. I don't want to get caught up on this. This is just the photo that made me want to show this video. But this is why you can't talk about it.
Yeah.
He had to just click and taken the photo, clicked it, shown the photo. No one thinks twice about it. Gas it up with like, this is why I'm taking this. I'm wondering why. I'm wondering how you're justifying, like this being, you're like, oh, look why I'm like, I don't know why you took this photo. You're not this is, if people think that this is what you're supposed to do, this is the result they're going to get. And this is backwards. This is, this would be the photo that my mom would take, and I'm sure she's never disappointed me, but
exactly. No offense on like any like, no offense on my mom. This is the kind of picture that my mom would take too. But here's the thing, like, when you I've taken I've taken plenty of pictures where I don't care about Like I don't care about them. I see them on the negative, I see them on the scan, I'm like, whatever, you know, like I maybe I saw something, it's not here, it's
Right.
not
It
existing.
didn't happen.
Yeah, it didn't happen, right? Whatever, like, cool. But I think, you know, he could have, I think he would have been a much better teacher if he had talked about this picture like that. Like,
Right.
oh, I thought I saw something, I thought it came together, but now looking at it, you know,
Yep.
it's very mediocre. But I'm showing you my steps. It's
Right.
like showing you his contact sheet, which is, for those of you who don't know, this is back in like the film days, is basically just like a preview of your entire roll of film that you got to print on like, you know, photo paper in the darkroom, and then you get to see like every frame. It's like you know, oh, I have one right here. It's not a contact sheet, but it's just a sheet of negative. And when you look at somebody's contact sheet, you can really see like how their thought process and what they go through. So this could have been a much better video, and I probably have seen something where, and I you know, this is not my idea. I think I've seen a video where they would show the shot, but it's like, well, you know, it's just something I took, but it's a step to something else. You know, that's what you can learn, I think, because it's not a specific, you know, like this is the photo, this is the photo. It's more like this is what I'm reacting to or responding to in real time, but then it's not there, you know, it's not, didn't happen, you know.
Yeah, photography and jazz, it's the photos, you know, you don't show.
Yeah,
you know, it's all about.
also I love that there's an outhouse right in the middle. It perfectly describes, you know, how shitty this picture is.
It's a picture of a toilet.
That is
Yeah.
Bad photo to begin with.
Yep.
I'm gonna let it ride. Again, I just wanted to stop on that because I think, and he'll just keep doing this same thing over and over again. And again, we've covered why it's a problem, but just to get people an idea of, you know, where this frustration is.
Is this part the past the part where he moans?
Look at that.
Not yet.
Not yet. Oh, okay, sorry, I spoiled it a bit.
In
That's
things
okay.
like this,
Yeah.
when you have such a massive, grand landscape in the background, being the Teton Mountain Range, I think it's specifically for shitty landscapes. I think it's definitely.
I don't know. That's hilarious. The closed captioning.
Some sort of element.
That's what I'm reading
to shitty landscapes, which is what this is, which I think is really funny.
Foreground and the mountain range in the background.
Yeah, because that's what I can't hear the sound from the videos.
I got you.
It, so that's why it's even funnier, because
it's also really special, and it just adds an extra element to be able to add something in the foreground with that, which I love, this small, tiny little outhouse, and then I've got these two solo trees in the mid-ground, and then I've got the mountain range, and then I've got the sky beyond that. So again, there's a sense of layers within that.
Yeah, and the way he talks about it, like what he's saying is correct, and then in application, because we're seeing that real time, is wrong.
Location is absolutely perfect. You've got all these little elements, subject elements, to be able to play with things in the foreground, midground, background, on top of having this iconic landscape in the background. And the light's getting real soft, real nice right now.
Oh my God.
You talk about this photo. He built this up for like a minute and a half.
Yeah.
And we don't have to go into why this is a bad photo, but
I mean, if
you got some weight here.
Yeah.
Nothing here. This is barely. Yeah. This is, and then the weight just
like, hey, why did he crop? Why did he cut it off? Like, you might as well get the whole thing in, right?
Yeah.
Because there's so much space. I'm pointing to my laptop screen. I know you can't see that, but it's like there's so much, you know, space to the left of the outhouse to the toilet. Like, you either put it in the middle, or like with 1/3, you know, rule of third or whatever, or like, I don't know, do something more interesting.
What
it's like
is here? Yeah, I don't know if you can see but nothing. This is a photo you throw away. Is a scripted. We have seen this video before, because we need to go ahead and like decide that this could be a beneficial thing to. But holy shit, this photo is funny.
Also, sound off
Oh,
in the
yeah.
comment if you think it's a good photo. I don't know. Like,
Yeah,
why it's
yeah,
good.
yeah, yeah. What?
Yeah.
We're not crazy, right? Do you
Yeah.
think these photos are good, or are we
It's
just
kinda
hating?
backlit,
I want to hear
but I
some like
still think I
some
can
other
save
things,
some.
you know, it's just some other opinions because
Yeah.
I do want to. I just want to know
Yeah,
because
the warmth and the color here is
some
just
people. I
really
mean, people
good.
watch him for a reason. You
Oh,
know,
yeah.
So,
Let's see
so
if
what
I
is
can
that reason?
see if
It
this
is, man.
will
It
turn
is,
out.
man. And this won't go on forever. We won't stay on this. This is again just for perspective and so that we are in real time justified in having our frustrations, you know. And so again, that's a fine photo, but who cares? who fuck cares, you know? It's not the lean. What are you leaning for?
Yeah, because
He made his first right decision here because he took it on his
One of my favorite
medium
things about
format, which like
photography and landscape
makes
is,
sense for landscapes, but
being mobile, using your feet, getting around, making sure you can give purpose, or try to at least, to give purpose to all four corners of the frame.
okay. So the thing
I could've
about
just
like you can keep going, but I'll just talk over it.
okay. Well, it's okay, but
yeah, there's I just want to point out how funny it is that like he's doing all this for a landscape, you know, relatively still. You're not racing against time. I guess light is an issue because it is like early morning or whatever, but like it's not once again it's not that serious, you know. Like if you're I don't know. What are you? Once again, I don't know what you're teaching. You know, I don't know what he's teaching. Is he? It's like you gotta move around. You gotta be like mobile and things. And he's just taking the same pictures of the same shot.
Well, that's like if we just if it rides out, it'll just become so apparent that there's one picture being taken. And again, I think it has already passed of being like the top one. Right. We're getting close to the point where he does let out a moan though, so I definitely don't want to like spoil that.
Okay, cool.
Guys, look at this comp.
Calls it comp. Don't do that.
This might be my favorite photo.
Just don't do that.
Potentially of the entire trip so far. Got this gorgeous aspen tree right here. Most of it's green, but on the bottom
to me,
branch, you've got the
he says this is the favorite photo
then I've got this
from the whole trip. This paid-for trip.
Old cabin beyond that.
He describes what he's about to do.
And then I have the mountain range and
whoa,
he's seeing it.
He hasn't even put the camera up to his eye yet.
Yeah,
really,
he already knows.
This is gonna be my favorite.
Yeah,
okay.
Really fun.
Is that the moan?
Did
he moan?
He'll moan. We just he took this picture.
Yeah.
My response is not his. This is a shitty photo. And then after this,
take a few photos here.
Wait, did he moan?
I think he did before.
Yeah. Ooh,
or
I can even get the tree in there down.
Yeah, I think he, or is it this one?
Here we go.
There we go. I remember this.
Oh, this is it.
Okay, he's making minor adjustments. It's got to be the hit.
Oh, never skip leg day.
Yeah, straight into a, and I really will stop it like this video here. But like for me, this struggles from the same problem that the photos we've already dunked on have, which like, my partner told me, can we compare those last two? I don't like. They're the same photo, just like with different elements. You got the foreground in the front. Like this, I think one of like the first things I learned was like, yeah, you don't start a picture with like the tree hanging in the foreground unless it's like up here, top corner. You know, like having it here is such a distracting. Your eyes go here; they don't go further.
And also like it's not a proper foreground anyway because. I mean, I feel like foreground, when you place things in the foreground, they got to do something. Every part of the picture has to do something, in my opinion. If you're going to make it into such a big deal, you know, like I'm big on snapshots, you know, I'm big on like just taking like pictures of things and then like if they work, they work out, you know? But like this one is, for me, like it's just, it's not none of the things in I feel like none of the things in his pictures that he's shown in that little clip that we watch, because he talks a lot about foreground, midground, and background, right? They don't have any relationship to one another. Like there's The tree is not interacting with the house in the midground.
No matter the photo you're taking, you're gonna have these things.
Like,
these are inherent parts of a photograph or foreground. So the way he's talking about it is in that way, which is like I'm like, exactly, these are parts of a photograph. And then that's it, and then does it, it's about using them effectively, and this is our, again, we show that for people who do not watch YouTube photography. This is a quintessential YouTube photographer, that one of the most famous, most renowned within the YouTube photography world, and again, you have to pay for these. There's so much free content on YouTube. There's so many wonderful photographers who do a better job than this, whether you're paying for their work or not, or their thoughts. Like, it's just these are the people that are making Fujifilm go out of business. Yeah, I mean, like, I don't think for this video there is a lot to take away. I kind of want to I want to move away from like the dunking. We've obviously got that out, like, of why that's a negative like person to follow in this regard, but like there are other YouTube photographers, and we can even name a few that like I think do a good job. Again, he I guess has like his moments where he does say something, but they're just regurgitated from him watching a Gary Winogrand YouTube video for free. So just know that,
So essentially, like, a lot of the things that he's saying, in my opinion, they're not unique. They're not really new, and it might seem new to his viewers because his viewers are pretty young, like I'm just making a blind guess, but I feel like a lot of them are
younger than him. He's an old guy.
Younger than him, maybe my age, maybe our age, but probably a lot more impressionable, and it's just I don't know, like I think it's sort of this cycle of like, he is validated by his audience, and then his audience is also validating him.
He's a celebrity. He's a photo celebrity, and like that's a new thing that used to not exist. And it is we're in 2021. People are famous for a lot of things that used to not exist. So it's just adapting. I don't want to sound like an old head, but like when it comes to people that also are leading, like, again, people are starting to learn who photographers are for the first time ever, because photography is I think at its highest. Everyone is now has an iPhone. You hear this a million times. It's photos are popular now. So in one way or another, you're going to come across someone like this, and I just think it's important, if you're someone like us, that you, I guess, like, you're able to be critical. You're able to separate why you are different, and why you are able to, even if this guy has these successes and these companies are flying him out, like, it doesn't matter. It's not that serious, So I'm sorry, he's older than most of the YouTube photographers. This is not a direct relative diss towards his age.
No. There's no ageism here.
Most YouTube photographers are younger than us, and we are what I would consider young, but he, on the other end, he's an anomaly for being a little, like, I guess, like, out of touch with, like,
the thing is, he does hang out with, like, Willem Verbeek and, like, negative. I don't know. I think
they all have videos. That's the thing. They're this little crew. They're this little gang that runs around, and they have they're shouting each other out in videos. And if you're not tuned into it, you're like, who are they talking about? Which I think is another thing. But again, I do have, like, these written down. Like, you can learn from this. I don't even think it's not worth. We'd have to watch a bunch of videos for us to find specific examples. I don't think that what we viewed was you could really gain anything from it. But I also want to know, like, so what do you think? Who's watching these? Who's buying this workshop? Do you know?
Yeah, are you asking me, or you?
I mean, open to everyone. I know it's hard for us to kind of respond to the chat, but you are more than welcome. We are reading them, and we're trying touching them, but more to you.
Yeah, right. Who do I think? Well, newbies? I think people who are
newbies in chat, right? Yeah.
Just super newbies, of course. Of course, because well, it's accessible, it's available, it's advertised a lot, and especially when you consider um, the fact is, social media, learning from social media. I learn a lot from YouTube, so I do see YouTube
Everything I know
being
is from
this
YouTube.
this like educational platform. So instantly when you see somebody teaching something on there, it's validated, right? I think that's also why he's been big. Joe's been big on it, and plus he's sponsored by Moment, and they have this class. I think curiosity is probably the biggest thing for newbies. I think I'm not gonna dunk on newbies just because I think a lot of newbies I know, a lot of beginners I know, are actually very critical and like very vigilant in terms of like what they watch, what kind of content they consume. But I think and judging from the reviews that you told me of his workshop, it's not doing that great.
Yeah,
So
it's actually surprising. A lot of the workshops on Moment's website from other YouTube photographers people are only saying good things about, but they're not as popular. This is like the most popular one on the website. And there are people giving it like 5-star reviews because they are fed up with his antics, the photos, the overall, just like, really, you let this guy just have this and produce it and put it out and have people pay money for it.
And
to gain what?
Yeah, and then I also add that there's a lot of the comps. When you grow up, I think in the when not I'm not going to use the term growing because I think everybody has different type of growth, but like when you surround yourself in social media photography, so like Instagram photography, Visco, that's one. You know, you're removed. I think you're removed from the history of photography, like the rest of like most people don't know who Winogrand was, or
and that doesn't matter. I mean, by no means, I'd never want to. I know his name. I had never watched a video until I was preparing for this stream to gain reference of why is someone like Gary Winogrand different from Joe GREER.
Yeah, but not knowing, I think could be dangerous in the sense that you don't know that something's been done before, and that's risky because then if obviously like you where you weren't really aware of his existence and his I mean you were aware but you didn't really look at his stuff, but I think it's really rare to have somebody like you who you basically you kind of just do your own thing, and also you watch
that's the most important thing.
You watch a lot of films, a lot of movies, man. So I know the background in art and like media, you're not lacking in any of that, but there's a lot of people who don't know any really they know so little that when they see the Joe GREER street stuff, they think it's like phenomenal. It's like, oh wow, you can hold your flash like that, like off camera. But like Bruce Gilden has done it, other people have done it, Mark.
And
Cohen,
I don't like Bruce Gilden. I think he's a dickhead.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he's just as much of a dick, and like, yeah, exactly. I'm not like weird for saying that, but like, that's the other reason we're shitting on him for just being the photographer he is, not because same thing with Gary Bruce Gilden. I don't like him. And I would love to show him one of his videos because but
like that's
he also has earned himself a little more who cares what I have to say about him. He's a
yeah, exactly. So for me, like the thing is, I know Bruce is very polarizing and whatever, and I mean it's just, but you can say that about somebody without really thinking about their pictures, like, or their photography work. He's a dickhead, but like
he knows that. That's all he talks about. He talks about being he calls himself an angry photographer. He just pent up,
right. So but once again, we're coming back to like, at least that, but a lot of people don't know who he is even. So it's like, when you don't know that and you see what Joe is doing, you think it's like phenomenal. Like, oh wow, you can do that. I'm really curious. I want to take pictures like that too because I think it's edgy and cool. And so they take his class. So that's my answer. But I guess let's see who else. Visco folk. Yeah, I mentioned that. It's just people who are.
Well, we can. I wrote this down as well. Like, I think YouTube photography, this era of it is also just as much of a trend as like the Visco travel photography boom, when like before Instagram really commodified itself into being like a commercial store rather than a photo sharing app. That was a big thing. These people were the first photographers that were just gaining traction for hitting absolute fire bangers of Portland, and Seattle, and like places, that again, if you grew up anywhere else, you're not going to be able to go to or apply, just looking at it. And then, I mean, God forbid, boudoir shooting, or just like, I always see people dunking on these types of photographers just because like it's so rooted in like, I guess, like a misogynist like point of view of photography. But that's a big boom. I think it's kind of calmed down, or hopefully like the conversation around it has like scared people off from being like, but that's just another thing that I've seen a huge surge in, specifically in the film community too, because that's like people's excuse to get into that. And then what was another one I wrote down? I mean, I think we're in this like the YouTube photography. People like make memes every single day. Whole subreddits are dedicated to like gas station pictures at night. Vintage cars. Similar vibes like that. And so it's just, we're currently just in one of those, and I think that it'll pass. It is something, but I think it is important again to come at it from that just with this type of knowledge, even not even going far as back of like Bruce Gilden era, all these, this is just photography's evolving and running in a circle, and we're just in that right now. Film looks really good when it is photographing a gas station at night. We've just figured that out. Sorry. Yeah. It took us this long.
So, I mean, it's that's the interesting part, right? Like, I think that's what makes this whole, discourse really interesting between people who really love YouTube film photography versus like, I guess, people like us who just, I consume everything. So, so there's, I mean, I also credit YouTube photography videos as being very crucial to my growth as a photographer. So I used to watch a lot of digital rev, and then I mentioned to you Mijanju. I don't know if you've checked out his videos, but those are like they were everything to me, honestly. Like,
I mean, they were like, so limited. There were no options, and this is YouTube only recently has really boomed in itself, but like exactly like took them for granted in a way.
We definitely had like fluctuations in kind of like I would say, like, if you were around in 2011, 2012, 13, 14, YouTube photography was actually it experienced kind of a boom similar to what we have right now, and then it died a bit, and then now we have like Joe Greer and Willem Verbeek and Matt Day. So what I'm saying is, this is just something that we're in the middle of.
Yeah, exactly.
What we're really dunking is just the fact that just don't pay for anything. YouTube is free. Just
we made it this far without I've never ever paid for a photography course in general, and you don't have to.
And if you pay for a course, make sure it's a course. Like, make sure it's being taught by somebody who's certified. And I don't know. I mean, I say this now, and then like tomorrow I have like a workshop because I need to make money somehow. But like, but that's
right. And respect for, again, exactly. Like respect to the people who are making it happen as photographers. Like, this is, I mean, you have to, it's hard to make it. And by make it, I mean, like, you turn it into your career, your profession, and your bills are being somewhat like cut off by what you're gaining from your photography. Amazing. Congratulations. We all want to be there. But I think it's just, just wanted to show the video as like an example of like the exact wrong reason, the frustration from it, and why you don't, when you go to, if you are taking photos of mountains, you don't need two M6s and a Mamiya 7. Don't even take those. First of all, start there.
I don't bring a tripod, first of all, like actually compose and but definitely, if I mean, we say that like you said, we criticize that, but at the same time, like, if someone's about to start a workshop and you want to make money, I guess go ahead.
If you know them, support anyone that is close to you. Support people that do inspire you. If they're like, again, there are one, I'll go ahead and shout them out. I think like I love YouTube photography. I'm a big fan. Mostly for entertainment, but a lot of them I do get tips and tricks and small ideas and overall motivation to go out and make something. If God forbid that's all you're taking away, then that person deserves like a thank you, as long as it's even like a sub to their channel, you know.
Just
nothing
don't
wrong
watch
with that.
Joe Greer, I guess. Just don't pay for Joe.
But he's good. He is fine. No one from Beautiful Noise, you know, don't abandon what we have. So, yeah, I wanted to shout out like, I surely wrote them down. Maybe I didn't. Oh yeah, negative feedback. I think he's like an OG. He does a great job of like when he's not taking good photos, he just talks. And I think that's really. And his videos are boring in comparison to like the overall like like I don't know, digestion of like lo-fi beat, walking around the city, taking street photos. Like those are more fun to watch. But like I trust him when he posts photos. He HJ Wade, he also has been posting YouTube photography. I actually love that you're in here because you have an interesting perspective, because I know you have been trying it like out. But negative feedback, he just has always, I think he's got to be one of the like founding fathers of like the lo-fi.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Like to me, he's what got me into YouTube photography past digital rev and stuff, because like I was like, whoa, cool. You know, this guy's got he's taking a little like, it's like Tumblr's resurged on YouTube. I love that. Ivan Chow, he has a great channel. He takes it very seriously. I specifically loved when he was living in Hong Kong. I think that was a big part of it for me. It was like an interesting perspective, because it wasn't New York City. Like, I am so tired of seeing New York City street photography. Because that's like the only place that people think you can do it, or street photograph. And then there's one other channel that I do enjoy a lot, which is Grainy Days, and he just takes the humor in photography and applies it. So it's just like you're just enjoying it. You know, those three people are like truly channels that I think have not like sold out, I guess. They're still giving their honest opinions. They're still trying to make like content that's helpful and beneficial to the like film community. And like they have to play the game. That's how it all goes. But anyway, just and to talk about it not in a complete negative sense, but those three people are the ones that I don't know if you have any that you wanted to recommend. But
I mean,
and after this, I did want to open it up to the Q&A as well, and kind of like deter from this overall topic. But feel free to.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, negative feedback, I would say, because I think he, even, like you said, hasn't really sold out, you know, and as of right now, he's still making these very kind of interesting videos where he's doing like videos. He's making videos, and he's doing all this stuff, which kind of takes, which, you know, it goes away from film photography, I guess, and that I think that's fine, because I think like, you know, I'm not, I take pictures on film, but I'm not always about it, you know. I like videos. I like it when people do this and that. So, and I like
it almost feels like he's been moving honestly away from film photography,
and that's
because he's growing as a creative person. And also he just like Jonathan's mentioning in chat, he's talking about, I think he does a great job of involving his community as well. He did used to do those like photo reviews and stuff, and you could submit your reviews, and he would kind of do this kind of thing that we're doing right now. So obviously I'm cool with that, because we're, you know, like this is something I also like think is fun. And I think that's important, because he like, it's not a money grab, you know, it's not fake. It's people interacting. The community that he's, you know, created for himself, which I think is really admirable. So I hope more people kind of like, if you haven't checked him out, I do think like I would start there. If you don't like it, I mean, obviously totally fine. You can just subscribe to our YouTube channel when we make it. But
he's also totally in the you know, the killing of, involved in the killing of Superior though. So I won't forgive him for that.
No, absolutely not.
But that's a minor thing.
It was gonna happen eventually. It was gonna, a day was gonna come, you know, when I'm shooting Superior, and then I can't anymore.
It's just one of those things where it just it happened, and it's sad. It sucks. But I mean, aside from that, content wise, it's good. It's entertaining. Obviously, I gotta mention still, I mean, not really Digital Rev, because I know the original crew, they
disbanded. They're on their own
but
stuff
you
now.
know, definitely watch Kai's channel. He has his own channel now. And you know, it's mostly just camera reviews, but you know, there'll be like one where it's kind of about photography every
At
now and
least
then.
they're not bullshitting you.
Yeah, that's true.
That's
Yeah, at
that's
least
what's
it's
important
actually.
to me. I just it hurts my feelings when I hear people just I'm like, what? Come on. You
Yeah,
don't have to say
yeah.
you can say I don't
No,
know. It's cool.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like I really do like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
just be honest. Anyway, yeah.
Let's open it up. I know. Thanks for everyone that's like still if you're still hanging out in here. I'm gonna also try and just make a quick post to like, gather some people back in here in case they wanted to have any questions answered. But yeah, I did kind of want to open up the floor. I just kind of ran through. I think we covered our ground on unless there were any other points you want to make last minute about
No, it's
YouTube
good.
photography.
I think much of it is also just a discussion
right.
that we'll have with the audience. I think that's the one thing I look forward to the most, honestly, because I can go on forever and like I ramble anyway, and like if you want to listen to me ramble, we have a podcast. Just look for Beautiful Noise Collective on Apple Podcasts or whatever, or wherever you listen, and you can listen to me ramble about stuff. But yeah.
All right.
Oh, did you do? Oh, nice.
Q&A time. Yeah.
Nice.
Thank you. Yeah, this does not have to revolve around. We have a few recorded questions that people sent in as well, which we will get to. I just wanted to like while we have the floor, if it dies down, we'll go ahead and get into some of those. If there's anything that like you already had in mind, it could be about anything. It doesn't matter, but literally we will do our best to not even answer them as much as just talk about them from what we think. Because I mean, again, I mean it when I say like I don't know. I don't want to come across as the person that I can't stand. But my highest bowling score is 191. I also, you know what I learned? Actually, it's funny you bring that up. I found out from doing a bunch of research on watching YouTube videos. I found out that Joe Greer is a terrible bowler. Which, if you know anything about me, I love bowling. It's just a passion of mine. And so having him, I just found a video where he went bowling and his first 3 frames were he guttered all 3 of them. And I don't know, I felt a small victory of like inside of me of just knowing that he sucks at bowling. So
I'm not. Yeah, I don't know my highest score. I don't bowl. I mean, I have gone bowling, but like I will say I'm not good because I think I've gone bowling.
Could you beat Joe Greer
5 times? I probably could.
Yeah, there we go. That's all. Yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
Well, let me go ahead and let's go ahead and dive into like 1 or 2 just to get the ball rolling while people are kind of if any ones get backlogged or people wanted to say something. Do you have one you want to start off with? You got some good ones.
I do. They're kind of long, so I don't know if you want to start with some quick ones first, and then we can.
Okay. I gotta
jump into the because I got a lot of deep ones.
Yeah. So. Yeah, and knowing us, we will answer those all the way to the end of every possible. Someone said, should I buy a motorcycle? This is from Kyla Schramm on Instagram at Kyla Schramm. Shout out at Kyla Schramm. Should I buy a motorcycle or a G2 plus 1 lens because they're the same price? And easy, like off rip motorcycle.
Yeah, for me as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Not even like what would we do? You should.
You should.
Yeah, you're considering it.
If you have if it's like G2 or
actually back up. If you are looking to buy a G2, you have the money saved. Go ahead and just like Google search that price and look what else you can buy.
Yeah, look
what else you will find so much better stuff for that amount of money.
Yeah, if that's your first camera too, and maybe I should favor that more the motorcycle if that's the case because
anything you get
because if you're trying to take pictures you need a camera, so I mean but if it's your second or third camera, get a motorcycle and go somewhere else and like take pictures wherever you go, like obviously. My first official
camera I ever bought myself, like a film camera specifically that I was like gonna put money towards, was a G2. Now I paid $650 for the G2 with a 28mm and a flash.
Yeah, that's
in 2015, and that has never been the same. Yep. But I mean, it was a great camera. I mean, I'm not. If you have the extra money too, go ahead and get a G2. It's cool, sexy. It's sharp. I don't know.
Also, what kind of motorcycle is? Also, what price is a G2 now to be compared to a motorcycle? That's I've never equated those two together.
let's see what the asking price of a G2 at the moment with one lens is. So just pulled up with one lens, $1,700, and that is a hefty motorcycle. For you can get a nice motorcycle for $1,700. So.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, really expensive.
There's someone. This one wasn't so much the question. Next Level submitted and said YouTube is. He just started talking about YouTube is killing Fuji and the film market. Luckily, we have like covered that. But it's. I think it's something to say that like other people feel this way, and it is an actual response, and not completely owed to YouTube, but. Yeah.
But at the same time, it's killing, but it's also reviving a lot of stuff. So I'm not gonna actually fully agree on that, just because I've got my start in film photography from YouTube, so I can't say that it's killing film photography, because I would contradict myself. So it's killing a lot of things, but it's also reviving a lot of things.
Right.
Put it that way.
Right. So. One of the things is killing being my wallet. Yeah, it is hurting to be a film photographer at this point.
Yep.
Well, we got one from Johnny Wade. He said, "Which M6 replacement should I get? I'm heavily leaning have in cart somewhere. Mandolta CLE, Canon 7, Bessa R4A, Zeiss Icon ZM. Replacing an M6 is a power
Why are
move.
you replacing? Why are you replacing an M6? That's my question for you.
Yeah, I don't think you have to. You definitely don't have to replace it.
Is it? Oh, do you not like it? Is that why you're replacing it, or?
Yeah. I mean, you could get like 3 cameras with an M6 if you sold it, but
this
whoops. Yeah, whoops. We didn't mean for this to be the effect,
Okay, well, but then, so my actual answer would be Zeiss Icon for sure.
Yeah, definitely don't buy an M7 because you can just get a Zeiss. You can just get a Zeiss Icon. They're the same camera
for maybe like one third of the
M7
price.
pulls like 4,500 body. I know that the Icon's going up, but
the thing about to Chase, I don't know, you might not understand this fully, but like there's something about going from one Leica to another, because I went from a Leica M4 to an M6.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it's like, oh, I'm getting this upgrade, but at the same time, it doesn't feel that different, So everything was still very like, I was very familiar with it. Yeah, I mean, but if the Zeiss Icon is in there in the consideration list, I would say Zeiss Icon, not the M7.
I also just back the Zeiss Icon. That camera has proven to be awesome and loyal.
Also, who's who in the chat? Can I get a quick like
name check?
Yeah, name check, please, because I don't who's talking. Oh, hello, Hui. M6 to M4. Yeah, terrible move. Why did you do that? Honestly, I don't know. I mean, I feel like once you have the meter in the M6, it's hard to go back to like anything else, because it's so nice. It's so nice, and that's why like from the M6 to the Zeiss Icon is also a really good move, because not only you have the light meter, you also have aperture priority, which is
and
amazing.
Is the M6 view again? I love that I've never even held a M6 or seen one actually in person, which is nuts. But is the viewfinder big?
It's big, but
because the Zeiss Icon it's huge.
Not as big.
It is bright. It is big. It is
yeah.
Zeiss
Icons. I mean, you have one. I also have not seen one in person, but I have. But it was very brief, and I don't really remember my experience with it. But but if you shoot a lot of 28 millimeter lens, then like Zeiss Icon is good, because it has a bigger view. You can actually see the full 28 lens.
It's true.
On the M6, you have to press the whole thing to your face, and it's painful. And I have an external viewfinder because I wear glasses.
Yeah.
And I can't see it.
I Icon no bueno, too light. It is extremely light, which is half the reason I recommend that camera. It is not heavy.
I think a lot of people, yeah.
Y'all are so caught up on like, oh, the Leica's so
no,
heavy.
The weight, yeah,
bro. If you want to carry something more heavy, that go ahead. I'm gonna stick with.
I think the weight of the Leica whatever M6 M7, they're pretty similar. It validates you a little bit as a photographer when you go outside. I would say that, like,
sure.
If your neck hurts from a day out, it was a good day, even though your pictures are shit. But
yeah, my lens on my Zeiss, which I have the 25mm, so it's a little like longer. It is heavier than it may not be, but because it's so small in comparison, it literally feels heavier than the body. Right. Which again, put together, makes the camera feel okay. But I know that it is a surprisingly light camera. Let's dive into one of those deep questions.
Okay, I'll bring up well, this one isn't as deep, but I think it's pretty deep the more you think about it. So this is from Lucas Fowler. It's one of our friends here in Texas. Are trends a good or bad thing? If so, why? Trends. Are trends good or bad?
I love trends.
I think he maybe he needed to be more.
I'm applying it as general as it is at the moment, but I love trends in general. Yeah, like with clothing or anything. Like I think trends they're the spice of life.
Yeah, I think they do give life to life, right? Because they get what else?
Yeah, like the craziest thing is you can sit them out. They're completely optional. Which gives you time to like figure things out. I mean, let me actually narrow this down now that I want to talk about it, but like specifically within photography trends, like I mean, I don't know, sometimes it is fun to like hit the gas station at night just to see. You just hit the pic, know that it's what it could look like, and I mean it's hard to deny like the aesthetically pleasing picture that comes from it, but like I think trends aren't detrimental in any way. I think they may slow things down, but I think a lot of times that's necessary. Like I think they're inevitable too. Like it's hard. You can't get mad. You can't just be like, oh, I don't want trends to exist anymore. Trends
will, inevitable. They will unavoidable. They will always happen. Trends are caused by a lot of people doing something all of a sudden. So I mean, like, how can you like hate on that? Because people be doing shit all the time.
Film photography. So. Sorry to tell everyone this. It's a trend.
Yeah.
Because trends die. That's like what classifies something as a trend? Like birth and ended. I don't know. Like that's film photography. It is like it's gonna happen as one day. It will be looked at as a bigger trend than.
I'll actually. Now, I'll argue you just a little bit on this one. We don't have to stay on this, but like, or we could. But I feel like it is a trend, but it's gone so big that I don't think it's no longer a trend because it has produced its own trends within
sub-trends.
So I think film photography, I don't know how long it's going to stay, but the fact is there's just so many like little communities and like sub trends and everything to like hold itself up. I don't think it's going to go away as a whole, because within like film photography, you have like lomography. Do people still remember lomography, or
people still shoot it? Which is nutty to me. Yeah. I had someone post on their story the other day saying they were doing the purple. Yeah. And if you're shooting the lomography purple in 2021, you are braver than I.
But you see, that's what I mean. Like I when I see that, it it makes me feel a little happy, because like, oh, there's still people shooting Lomo purple.
Yes, we're over here like it's not that serious, but and then truly people above us that really aren't taking it seriously are still shooting Lomo purple. And that alone, that film stock is a trend. Or a result of a trend, or an overall arching trend of like souping, which was a big thing. I've seen souping be, and like overall just like getting color tinting and stuff. Like people are into it. That's cool.
Yeah,
I don't necessarily think it's a wise investment.
but that's why it's a trend, right? Because
Exactly. Right.
it's just people. And to kind of dial back to the actual question itself, like good or bad, I don't know. I mean, it depends on if the trend is good or bad.
Yeah.
So the thing is, I don't think he's on. I don't think Lucas is on, but he'll probably watch the recording.
Sure.
Lucas works in music production, so music, that's we have trends in music as well.
Mhm.
And I think trends also help, the good trends help move things forward. It does slow things down a little bit, but I think if you have like 10 trends and like two stick around, those two are going to push things forward.
Mhm.
So people start doing things all at the same time, but really what really counts is what gets kind of gets propagated onto the
Yeah,
next
what taken? Yeah,
generation or
exactly.
whatever.
Like clipped,
Yeah.
clipped from the
Yeah.
branches. Like exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Any trends to note that like I think maybe you participated in at the like any
um
off the top of your head?
Street photography is a trend, I think.
Yeah.
Especially I participated in the early, not I wouldn't call it early because I'm not that old, but um the street photography where it I don't know if you remember, or like maybe it was just me and my own kind of experience, but like there was a time where street photography became very popular because it's so simple. It's like anybody can do it. You can just go take a picture of
Because it's
things
just
on the street.
taking photos
Yeah,
outside.
and it was a very literal definition of what street photography was at the time, and so it became like, so I had a Flickr at the time, and literally that was all I was posting. It was just picture of things on the street. It was maybe a wastebasket or like a bus or something like
Mhm.
that. It wasn't any. It was just like, so that was a trend. I think that I participated in. I think that's it. I don't know. I don't know what else. Photography wise, I don't think I even care too much about the trend
Mhm.
or trends that have happened. Um,
Yeah, I never felt. I try. I think I've tried to like dip my toes into
mhm,
all of them and some because again, I think if you come everything from a more lighthearted point of view, you'll have more fun. Which at the
mhm.
end of the day is
Yeah,
like why we're all here and do
yeah,
photography because there is simply enjoyment to be found in there, and I think exploring them, um,
yeah.
and like stepping out of like a bound you would normally do because it's a trend is yeah, you should do it. You should. Everyone should.
Hmm.
Everyone should kind of like just
Yeah,
try
I
it
mean,
out. It's
certainly I
just
would
one
say don't
pick.
hate.
It's just
Yeah,
one
don't
little
hate on
frame.
trends, because I think that's lame.
It is
It's like,
extremely good. Yeah, literally, good
yeah,
job. You don't
yeah,
like it, you know.
yeah. Oh, cool. That's your entire personality. Good job. You're so unique. But no, I mean, trends are fun. Um, I don't think I don't think I've seen any trends that's like that bad. I would say like souping film would be a bad trend because it did ruin a lot of chemical, not for me, but like for other labs.
Uh huh.
I've my lab has never so far has not experienced. We have not experienced that. That would be a catastrophe. Think about like one film that somebody put in, like, I don't know, wine or
Hmm.
some shit like that, and then it goes into a batch of like other film.
Yeah.
That little contamination will ruin the entire thing, and that's the thing. If they don't tell us, we don't know, and then we run the film as normally, and then when we get out, we
Right.
get the
Also,
result.
souping film is when you just expose your negatives post
Yeah.
processing or pre processing.
Well, some people do it, and you should do it post, by the way. Like
Yeah.
that's,
If anything,
I
you should
think,
just ruin it
yeah,
later.
yeah. You ruin your actual film negative that's been developed, so you don't ruin anybody's day, anybody that runs a lab. And so I think that should be the definition. But a lot of
Mm.
people take it the wrong way. They actually put like film that hasn't been shot yet or hasn't been processed yet in whatever you know liquid.
Liquids they can find. Which yeah, you
Yeah,
soup it, and the result is to get like an unpredictable
yeah,
result because you're
yeah.
not that's being exposed to environments that
Mhm.
film is sensitive.
Yeah, yeah.
Film's a little, he just wants to be home. So, um, but yeah.
Anyway,
Anyway, yeah,
yeah. So
cool.
there's that question. You mind if I go on to the next one and then
Please.
we go back to, okay. So I think this one maybe was targeted. Oh yeah, well, I mean, it could be anybody's question, honestly. It could be towards you. So I don't, I'm not gonna pronounce their name. I'm gonna try my best. Ghawam Kouchaki, on my Instagram, my Q&A, asked, "What was your Eureka moment where you realized what your voice was in photography?" Okay, so what was my Eureka moment when I realized my voice? Okay, um, I don't know. I think it was when I think when Tokyo Camera Style followed me on Instagram. That was when I had like, oh, cool, I'm validated because
Mm-hmm.
he sees something in me, and I think that was when I that was around the time. I think it was in 2017, and that was when I started to be really into like zine making, and I was making zines, and I was into like sequencing, and like and I took that and I put that on Instagram as well. And I think if you follow me during that time, you probably noticed that I started to do that kind of sequencing that I still do, where I would post a post. I don't. I think I think they Instagram had that feature where they let you post multiple pictures in one post at that time, because I remember doing that. Yeah, but I was sequencing and I was doing all this, all this stuff, and kind of finding my voice. And then Tokyo Camera Style followed me or followed me back, because I had followed him a while for the longest time basically, and then he finally followed me back, and I was like, oh, this is it. I've
I mean,
made
this
it.
means something. This is
Yeah,
right.
because I know he and if you follow him, you know that like he's he's very knowledgeable, and he
he's been
you
around
know
the
he
block.
yeah, exactly. He's been exposed. He's
Yeah, the
talked to a lot of
cosign.
famous, yeah, yeah. So he's been around, so he knows what's good, right? And then to see that I know he follows a lot of people, and I think I'd realized that, and I'm like, oh well, maybe he's just
He
engaging with
doesn't
his
follow me, so
audience.
you've hit
Oh,
yours.
oh,
Yeah,
there you go.
yeah,
Okay. Well, yeah, but like it was, I think at the time I fangirled a little bit. I was like, oh my God, like this is,
absolutely.
like this is it. I'm whatever I'm doing must be
I'm
working.
in.
So I don't think I realized it, but I was just,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I saw that, and
I don't think I've had a eureka moment. I mean, or I've had a lot, and they're just like not big, or like maybe as like gargantuan as a eureka moment is
mm-hmm,
like thought
mm-hmm,
to be. Um, I don't know. I think like my eureka moments are just like my small victories of like I think like publishing my first zine, which like honestly hurts to look at now. Which is like if you put out a zine, I'm sure you hate one of them.
yeah,
You know, it's probably your first one, but like that was a big
yeah,
deal. That was like that took more work than posting a photo that I liked on
yeah,
Instagram. Um,
yeah.
Also, I will say a lot of my eureka moments have been like reality checks, like with film, because again, I even referenced this earlier, but like film is risky inherently because
Mm-hmm.
there's so many variables. It's like you're kind of just a piece in the puzzle that like before you get to see the photo, you
Yeah,
just
yeah,
take it and then it sits there, and as long as nothing happens between them and then taking it to the lab, then it's on them not to like have something happen, and then I don't know, I guess it even used to be more complicated, but like yeah, I've broken cameras,
oh,
lost rolls, and I think like, and luckily I've been spared. um like I've shot film for so long, and like the first roll I lost was, you remember it, but or
yeah,
rolls I lost, and like I was like, well, it's hard to even be upset because I'm like I went so long without ever. But
right,
that was like a reality check. I was like, oh, like I can in some ways take something away from this,
mm-hmm,
of like move on. Like it's not like
mm-hmm,
you, just because you don't see your photos doesn't mean you didn't take them, which doesn't mean you didn't, like seeing them doesn't add anything necessarily, I guess. Which
right,
was like
right,
a eureka moment, was like, oh, I still did it. Whether I
yeah,
got the pictures back or not, like if my goal, which I like to me is always like in the back of my head, is like I want to get better, I want to take better photos. That isn't like, I don't get that by seeing my photos necessarily. You
mm-hmm,
get better by practicing, and like obviously seeing your photos and being able to like critique them and learn from them is important. But losing
It
a role or a few roles, right? Exactly. That's not a big deal. It sucks big time to like not ever get to see something that maybe you like, but those are breaking a camera. That was a big deal when I smashed my G2, flipped my bike. Like that was like, oh shit, now I have to go buy something better. You know, it can't go down. I can't, you know, but that was my a Eureka moment for me, I guess. Which like I've always just now I don't know, shoot. And I think
that's very
like,
poetic.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. No. So Jonathan Wade. Yeah. He likes taking pictures. He doesn't need to see them. I think that's very relatable.
Right. I mean, I took how many months off? 17 months like without developing a photo, which is I've never done that.
I think you know, obviously it's also very like counterproductive if you don't see.
Oh my god, no! It was I'm starting to get them back, and my I think it was in part with like teaming that with like this stream coming up and being like involved and us like cementing like our friendship and just being like more involved in the photography world.
Yeah.
In part with finally getting like a year and a half worth of photos back. All I did was realize that like, holy shit, I like fucked up by doing this.
Yeah.
I had like a dead year, you know, and like that's not a big deal, but it again just gave me that affirmation that like, oh, it is important to be able to get that confirmation in your photos.
Yeah.
Stay involved. It is very hard to. I know I just went on that rant about like you don't have to see your photos to like grow, but you do. You can't. You can't just
It's more. It's not really like you choose one and not the other thing. It's kind of like they do coexist. You know, I do have a backlog of film that I don't develop, and like I don't. You know, it's like and even when I do develop, sometimes I scan the film and then I don't really look at the pictures until maybe like a month or two later, and I go back to like my folder and stuff, and you know it's. I don't even know how to describe it. You just gotta experience it and just understand that like taking if you're out taking pictures, you're already doing like 99%. You know, you're
right.
The pictures are there, right? So of course, cameras breaking, film malfunctioning, or some sort of error that happens. You can't that you don't know. You can't control that anyway. So like, why worry about that? You know. So just once you leave that out and once you start to kind of have confidence in your gear, have confidence in yourself, and like taking pictures is on films or digital. I know a lot of digital friends who don't really process their stuff, and they just they move everything, they back everything up into their hard drive, and that's it. And they work later. They work on that stuff later. But you do need that confirmation eventually.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Like literally.
But
absolutely.
That's a really good Eureka moment. I think a lot of people can learn from that if they're.
Oh yeah, I think it's something that like I don't regret doing it as much as now I know I'll never do it again.
Yeah.
At least on purpose. Like I did it so like because like I started a quarantine to give a perspective on it. I started at the beginning of quarantine. I was like, all right, let me just like save these weird days, these weird photographs, these feelings and emotions and uncertainty that everyone experienced. Let me just like put them away. Let me not like address them while I'm still experiencing them. Right. Thinking that would like, and in ways it did now that I have them all back and whatnot. But also, it without any of that being involved, I didn't get to see my photos, so that kind of sucked. So yeah. But, well, I was gonna say you brought up digital photography, and someone did ask me. They asked me how the Ricoh GR fits because I shoot also on a Ricoh. That was actually my replacement when my film camera was broken for a moment. I bought a GR. How does that fit into my process? That was asked by Zach Hitchcock on Instagram. I don't know how it fits. I think it's just. I think like I don't own a lot of cameras. I really own 3 cameras. I own my Zeiss, my Ricoh, and then I own an Olympus MJU.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Perfect. Yeah. Combo.
And I'm not a gear person. I think it's cool. I love specs and stuff, but like owning it is stressful and pointless because I can't shoot on all 3. But like, yeah, I carry my film camera around when like I know I'm gonna take photos, and then I carry my GR around because I take photos.
Yeah.
So I guess like that's kind of where it fits in, is like it's just my iPhone. I kind of got fed up. The reason I bought it, I got fed up with my options before I bought it being my Zeiss or my iPhone. Really no in between, and like I hate iPhone photos. I think they're so like you just see them all the time, and so you know when something's an iPhone photo, and like they may be good, they may look good and be like the technology and whatever behind it, but I don't like the way they look. So I just bought it instead. Like every time I go to take a photo on my iPhone, I just use my GR instead, because it's so small. I just carry it around everywhere, and then I almost exclusively shoot it in black and white as well.
Yeah.
Which has, I guess, like talking more about process. That's a big part of it. I do not like black and white film. I mean, I just love color film. I think that's like, it's got something to it. But same with black and white film as well. But like the GR's black and white preset is like silky smooth. Like it's exactly what I like in black and white photography, and I know it's there. So like I also, Jonathan, I know you asked earlier about like the GR3X that just came out. I'm wide angle gang till I die.
Yeah.
I like 28 or wider is preferred.
Yeah.
But I could recommend the 40 millimeter to anybody. I love 40 millimeter as well. But I'm kind of past it. I started there. So
yeah. I mean, if you that one, I'm just gonna chime in just because like it's if you like the 20, I mean the 35 millimeter focal length, the new GR is good because it's like carrying. I mean, and it's also think of it in terms of it being a compact camera, and it has a longer ish lens. It's very similar to the T2 because the T2 has a 38 mil.
Yeah, you should buy the GR3X before you buy T2. 100%.
Yeah.
You will like, and also I will say the reason to go back to why I bought it to begin with as a film photographer. Why did I go back and buy my first digital camera in like 8 years? I don't shoot a lot of film. I'm not one of those people that is burning through rolls. Even on like when I travel, I'm very, I guess, selective, and I think I felt myself maybe like in a way that was kind of like kneecapping myself, because like I feel like in order to get better, you have to continue shooting, all that jazz. But the GR is a digital camera, so I was just throwing it up. I've taken like thousands and thousands of pictures in the year that I've had it. So, and a lot of them have been like, it's not like I don't take them seriously or like treat them like I do my film. I mean, I do have them separate, but yeah, I mean, they're still like, I still think those photos are good and I could share them in some way. But yeah, I don't know. Just if you're looking for a T2 or a G2 or G3, whatever, GR3. Just get the little guy. Get the GR3. I can only recommend it.
I don't have a digital camera, so I can't say anything on this. Actually, correction, I do have one, but a friend is keeping it, and I haven't asked for it back, just to show how much of digital I have in my life. I do like the iPhone pictures though, because I think iPhone photography is like a separate kind of genre, and it's just so memeable, and it's just so I think pictures from an iPhone are always so funny.
I think it's funny because it checks me. I like sometimes I can't get a good photo on my iPhone.
Yeah,
and I think that's really funny, and I feel terrible. It tears me. No one has to say. It's not like people are like, "Oh, this is bad," as much as I'm looking at it going, "Oh, I can't make this happen on this."
I know.
Like, am I too far gone? Like, I think
like,
about
even,
it too
like,
much.
I have one of the newer ones, and it has that like super wide angle one. And I thought I would use that all the time, but no, it's so difficult.
Impossible.
It's impossible
so
to
crazy.
use because I'm like, I don't even know what to do.
But not for some people.
Like,
some people like, I mean, they're using them for everything, like, so I don't, it's still viable. It's so, you got like 18 megapixels and, so you can print them and stuff. But GR fits seamlessly into my flow. Because I just treat it like my iPhone, so I'm not replacing my film as much as I'm just taking more photos that to me look better than my iPhone.
Yeah.
In summary,
It's a companionship thing.
Yeah.
It shouldn't, and I think digital and film totally coexist anyway.
Mhm.
So there's no reason for anybody to be like, oh, this or that, or like if it makes sense to you, then yeah,
Right.
go for it. I use my iPhone as my digital, camera all the time. So I don't, and like like you said, it doesn't replace my film uh pictures ever, because it's a totally different vibe, and
Right.
I use different things for different occasions. So it's not, you know, they're not they go hand in hand.
Mhm.
That's what I'm trying to say.
All right. What else? Do we have any more?
I have, how many more do you have?
I only have one more, which we kind of already covered, which was from Bernard or BRNRDLM. He said YouTube photographers you like and hate. We kind of covered a lot of that, but
yeah.
the same photographers, the negative feedback, Ivan Chow and Grady Days are like the ones that I truly recommend and enjoy. And like, I mean, I subscribe to even the ones I don't like, but those are the ones that I like.
Oh yeah,
gain something from.
I forgot. I do want to mention Ian Wong also on YouTube. He used to be with the Digital Rev crew, and then he left Digital Rev, and now he has his own channel. He doesn't upload that frequently, but his videos are pretty good. Ian Wong, I think that's it. I think that's.
I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. And he did make that video
videos.
about he did make one video on the prevalence of the Contax T2 and like Kendall Jenner and stuff. I think you should watch that video. I think it's a good insight. Also, his own opinions on the whole thing. But he makes it fun, and he doesn't try to be like snobby about anything, So that's why I love his content. His pictures are also good, That's the thing,
Yeah. YouTube
so
photographers I hate is just Joe Greer, by the way.
Yeah.
Just Joe Greer.
Yep. I was gonna send the invite link to Joe to see who he would join us on the stream, but I chickened out. I should have done that.
It's true. Next time.
Okay.
I'm not done here.
I have. Yeah. No. This is a big topic. This is just a kind of an opener to see a pilot episode. If you will, just to see how people respond to it. So I have one, and it's I don't know how I know it's a Vietnamese handle, but I don't know how to actually say it because there are no diacritics. So it's on Beautiful Noise comment. So y'all can go to the post and look for the comment and look for the account if you want. But they asked some of your biggest inspirations, perhaps. So let's start with you, Chase.
Okay.
And yeah, it's a tough one. This is probably, I'll say this is the last question, or do you want?
Yeah, we can. I think. I mean, I'm done, and honestly, I think I don't. God forbid, if you've been here for 2 hours, thank you. First of all,
thank you so much. I know some of you have, and it's amazing.
I know we're not offering like the most introspective views, so it really does mean a lot that like you care enough to just hear us literally talk, because that's like that's how I feel about it. But
yep.
It is. Yeah, it is. I don't know. I have trouble with inspiration. I know it may be like pretty basic to say, but I've always kind of identified, I think it is by Chuck Close. He quoted and said like inspiration is for amateurs, like the rest of us just go out there and do it. And I was just like, that honestly has still stayed with me in some capacities. I still have my like people I look up to and my true inspirations, but I guess like I try not to get caught up, I just keep going. But actual people, one of my favorite, he truly is one of my favorite photographers, is this account called Lawa. It's LAWA, and it's just this.
Oh, I think I know.
I sent it to you. I've followed him for like years. I found him on Tumblr and had to be like 2013. He's just a dad. He lives in like Norway or Sweden or somewhere beautiful, and he just takes pictures of his family. Yep. He shoots Superior 400 exclusively. Then this is all like this. I mean, I don't want to call him an inspiration as much as I just follow his. I love his work, and that's like kind of like where it starts and ends. Is like I don't necessarily want to do it because it's so personal and like I can't. It's not like he's out there taking the most like extravagant street photographs that I want to emulate in any way. It's just that I love his work. I think he feels fulfilled taking photos, and he takes so many, and like I don't know, and he doesn't like adhere to trends. He doesn't adhere to like anything other than like the honesty that's in his photos. They're like really vibrant, which is not my even style. Like I don't even necessarily like that for myself, but like he just does it, and I think that's like something that I like identify with, or like I really take that to heart and like try and make sure that at the end of the day, like I'm truly taking photos of stuff that I want to, and also I'm not taking it that seriously. I know it's become like a recurring theme, but I think like, yeah, I don't know. He's just like, his photos tell that story that people try so hard to do, where they're like, I'm trying to like tell a narrative, tell any sort of like, I don't know, trying to make a photo more than it is. And you just look at this guy's account and like, it's his family, and his family is like, I don't know, happy. And I'm like, that's cool. So I just kind of like gushed over him, but he's like the one person that just I think is like I know no one is going to know him. He's not like a famous photographer, but he to me is like an inspiration.
But that's got to be like the purest form of inspiration, I think.
Oh, and he follows me, and I will say that was a Eureka moment. The day he followed me, I was like, no way.
instant validation.
Yeah. So,
but no, but you're right. Like that quote, I that's the first time I've heard of it. But now I'm scared to name my inspiration because I'm not an amateur.
right.
But no, but but honestly, like this one's a tough one for me. That's why I'm gonna, it's my last one. It's our last one, because I have so many and it changes, and I like being exposed to like a lot of things, people, and whatever that people are making. The easy answer for me would be like, oh, I'm inspired by a lot of Japanese photographers, so people like Araki and Dido, like the shirt I'm wearing, so that would be like an easy, cookie cutter kind of. I can tell that to anybody, but is that true currently? I mean, probably not. I mean, they're always there, but it's hard for me to like actually honestly say that they're my current or even biggest inspiration, because sometimes you know I do realize that I do get inspired a lot by people that like are my friends, or like that I'm really close with, because for me that is true inspiration, because like I said, pure inspiration, where you just want to kind of be there and watch how they work, and and talk to them about things if you get to talk to them. And for me, being inspired by my friends is like daily, every single time, every day I open Instagram, and there's always like, whoa, like this person is doing something. And the cool thing is I can just reach out to them and ask about it, like how are you doing, like what is this you're working on, can you tell me about it? So that's inspiration. And I think that's why I resonate really kind of I resonate a lot with that quote you mentioned, where like inspiration is for amateurs, because I do think that if you think so hard on what inspires you, or like who your inspirations are, you're just going to be sitting at home and think about all these people.
Oh, it's overwhelming, especially when you're not comparing yourself to like-minded or like similar like positioned people, and that's like, I completely resonate with
I think you're just gonna be knocked out by all of that inspiration anyway, and like these people don't know who you exist, like they don't know who you are, and you can't reach them. So like for me, like what's the point? I do buy photo books. I do learn from photo books. I do learn from the masters and stuff like that. But like at the end of the day, they're very far away, and just being inspired by friends is always like that's, to me, that's like really kind of the meat of this answer.
And
but of course,
the Beautiful Noise, literally a plug, but the Beautiful Noise Collective Instagram is a perfect spot to go to find inspiration. Truly, I mean,
truly,
like there's so many
honestly.
people like are just like it's like it's a track for track like best of place for people like us, for people that have been in this, for people that have been in this chat, for people who have like followed along in any capacity. I think like I don't know if you already don't do that. I think you absolutely should. For me, it's obviously a huge inspiration, and like I mean that's I feel like how we know each other to begin with is that Instagram account, but.
No, I appreciate that, and I mean I'm proud of that as well. I mean there's a reason why like I talk about that constantly, about the collective and about like who the people, obviously the members who are all our friends, one of which is actually sitting in the room right with me, but he's kind of over there, and but it's so beautiful because you have us for kind of working together and stuff like that, but then you also have this like bigger community um that we try to involve, and we do share their work and things like that, and it's and most of, and I would say I'm confident to say that a lot of people, at least in America and elsewhere, and I guess in the Western world, really have not been exposed to like Vietnamese photography that much. So I think the collective, the Instagram page is a great place to start if you want to look into Vietnamese photography and what's going on. That's also inspiring for me too. There's a lot of good people out of that community that I do look up to, and also very accessible because they're very nice. You can talk to them at any time.
There you go. Yeah, they're gonna talk to you way before someone from New York street photography Facebook group chat is gonna message you back. So I'm not a joke. They that is
No, that's true.
But yeah, as far as like inspiration goes, I mean, I never want to like derail it in the point of being like you shouldn't. And the Chuck Close is like I think it is like grain of salt thing, but like
no, of course.
But I understand the sentiment of the quote as well.
There's
again, it does end with like the rest. I don't even know if it applies to having inspiration as much as looking for inspiration. Yeah, I mean, because the quote ends with like the rest of us just get out there and do it. So like if you're lacking inspiration or the Beautiful Noise Collective Instagram is just falling flat, like just get out there and just start taking your photos.
That can happen today. That can happen anytime. That can happen like it's just that if you don't rely on your inspiration, I guess that's what I'm trying to say. When I said that there's some truth in that quote, I mean it like that. Like don't rely on like, oh, I need to be this. It's no one knows who you are. No one knows who I am. I'm just doing my thing, and
it's
like
not
if
that
it clicks,
serious.
it's not that serious. Oh, so I just want to answer this person while I'm not gonna type just because I know they're watching, but so our podcast is just it's on Apple Podcasts, it's also on Spotify. Just I don't know, if you know my Instagram, if you can't find it, just talk to me and I'll send you a link. And it's mostly gonna be my voice anyway, so it'll be we're well acquainted by now, I think. And in case anybody lives in Vietnam, the podcast is bilingual, so there'll be some episodes in Vietnamese and some in English. So yes, so that's the plug.
Yep. I love that we're naturally ending on the plugs.
Yeah, of course, always.
Gotta get there. I guess we're gonna go ahead and like I guess like try to get it wrapped up. If there is anything like if you guys had any last questions or any sort of like inspirations you want to throw out there, I still want this to be as involved as possible up until the end. But otherwise, like personally, I feel like a new face to the Beautiful Noise Collective like group of people. I'm glad I hope like it went well and this was like a fascinating or some sort of like I hope this offered more than the Joe GREER video.
I think that was probably like the climax for the whole thing. That really was kind of, but I think that's also entertaining. I hope everybody found that little bit we did entertaining. But as we've been saying, sort of the slogan of this whole stream, it's not that serious. Nothing is that serious. But I do hope, like Beautiful Noise followers, if you're still around on the stream, I can't tell, but just I don't know. Let me know. We take feedback if
Yeah,
you think
absolutely.
this is kind of something, because I know we've been doing a lot of content that is sort of focused in and and around Vietnam, I guess. Um, things like photography and whatever that's going on, and it's been done by like our other members and stuff like that. But I do want to kind of, because I live in America, and I think, you know, YouTube and everything, all the stuff that we consume is pretty relevant to me personally. So I do want to have more content done um within the sphere of like where we live, and you know, because I do know I have follow, like you, Chase. I mean, you follow beautiful noise, and like a lot of people from here follow our account as well. So I do want to include them into the discussion as well, into the overall conversation and what's going on. So this is definitely could be something that we can start. Obviously not live streaming every time, but
Right.
might be a YouTube video, you know, something
Yeah.
like that. YouTube photography. Um, yeah, but thanks for listening.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, if there's any questions or anything.
Yeah, I
don't
mean,
know,
it doesn't seem like there's. I think we did kind
Okay,
of dwindle
cool.
out, but yeah. Again,
Yeah.
plug. My Instagram where I actually post my photography is just Chase Harris, which is my last name. Photo. Pretty straightforward, but that's like where I post my photo work. If you're not turned on to that, then that's where that's at. Then plus Beautiful Noise Collective. That's their Instagram, and then you can plug you. You wanted.
Oh, before I plug mine, I do have a question. What is the origin of Mega Loom?
Oh, Mega Loom. So I've heard it reference Tumblr a few times, but it goes all the way back from like, which I will say, even today, Tumblr is a great inspiration.
Yeah.
For photography, they're like, I feel like only the real ones are left on Tumblr in 2021, so you can really go in there and find some good photos. But that was when I made it. A friend's band of mine had just released, one of my favorite bands, Frameworks, had released a album called Loom, which is to me a very like appealing word. It has a nice like roll, you know, just whatever.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I just gotta throw that in there. So I started typing in like the name I wanted, which I don't remember at the now, but it gave me like, this isn't available, but this is, and it was like Megaloom like 44327, you know, like some crazy, and I was like. And I just deleted the numbers and just left it, and it just went.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, cool. Like, that's just a cool Megaloom, you know? And then I just kept it. And it has, like, no one calls me it, which I'm very, like, happy about. I don't want to, like, be personified by it, you know? But for me, it's always just been, like, it was, like, a name that was never descriptive enough to, like, grow out of. So it's become like part of my identity and like how I kind of brand my work too.
No, for sure.
So
it's become it has become so much you that I don't even see any sense out. Like I just wanted to ask you directly, but I really didn't need to know, because I just like, that's just you. Plus like your profile picture is from that what is that one thing?
Yeah, the Cartoon Network over the other wall.
Yeah. It's like perfect. I don't know why it's such a perfectly it's put together.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I'm analog on Instagram. That is just the word analog, but there's a dot between the N and the A, if that makes sense. So in other words, it's my name and spelled within the word analog. So and then obviously Beautiful Noise Collective, is exactly as it's spelled. That's our Instagram page. You should probably follow Beautiful Noise Collective, because I don't have anything on my page. It's really just it's okay.
Yeah, I just started posting for the first time, you know, with my long break, but
but Jay, okay. Oh, cool. I was just reading the chat. Yeah, but that's everything. Thanks so much. Yeah. Thank you, Chase, for hosting.
You want to throw your?
Because I'll just put him on for a bit.
Okay, word.
Yeah, well, yeah, okay. So you're requested to be on. Just the people want to see you.
Here we go.
Just put it
on. Yeah, do your plug. Welcome to the special guest. I'm glad we had a special guest. That really adds some extra flavor to it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm from Cokecan. What's up? What's up with it?
Yeah, this is the resurgence. This is for the late night crew. This is a whole new stream, you know. Everyone that dipped out, and we're just gonna make a new post. But yeah, how do you do it? Cokecan is spelled with a few different characters, right? It's not just straightforward, is it?
No, it just Cokecan and then underscore.
Okay, Cokecan. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
Easy.
Just really, really bad black and white photos. Very pretentious.
That's what we're about.
As I've been told.
Yeah, sometimes it is that serious.
Dude, this was a good podcast. I had fun listening in on this.
That's
I
good.
don't know. I can't hear anything that you were saying, but
that's why it was
all
good.
one-sided.
Yeah.
I was like, I agree with that point. I was like, yep.
Cool.
I was just laying on the ground the whole time. It was great, peaceful.
All right, I'm gonna end the stream, and then I don't know if you guys want to hang out, but thanks everyone for coming in. I know everyone here is appreciative of it. I had fun, as much fun as I had hoped to be. There were a lot of people in here, so I hope like at all people gained anything. But
yeah, I hope you guys do more of this. This is great.
Yeah, cool. All right, let me close it out. Where's the lo-fi beats to study to, or the?
Ooh.
Let me just close it out real quick with a.
Yes. Close it out.
There we go. All right, good night, everybody. Everyone say bye.